Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 136, and today we are here with Calvin Cabiling. Calvin,
hey,
I got it?
Yeah, you got it perfect. Hey, I like
try.
Downtime with Downstar. I like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for inviting me. I love doing this sort of thing.
Of
I
course,
love talking.
dude. Alex and I, we were watching your podcast when you guys were uploading them.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this dude's pretty interesting, bro. A lot of the topics that you were coming up with, I wish that I was there at that time to jump in.
Sure.
But
hit me with whatever,
I like
right?
it,
If you want to talk
I
about it,
I want to talk about everything, dude. I've been watching your the stuff that you've been posting up lately, and it seems like you got a lot of stuff that
I got a lot going
you
on
want
in
to
my
talk
head.
about, dude.
A lot.
But let's talk about this this past weekend, man. You just got back from Mammoth.
No, Big Bear.
Big Bear. How was that?
Oh, first time snowboarding.
No shit.
Everyone was saying, Calvin, you gotta be careful, man. You won't. It's nothing like you've ever done before, man. I'm like, okay. In my head, I understand my feet are bound.
Yeah.
And I have to rotate about the hip. I understand this.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out, or I'm gonna eat it. And boy, did I eat it. Right. So I learned how to get speed and full commit to the hip throw.
Yeah.
It worked 60% of the time.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
So like I stop and then I overcompensate by leaning forward and my front edge catches and I take a digger.
I think it's just a couple times, man. Just going out there, sending it, falling, and just figure what works. I've only went one time before. I want to go back at it because I want to do jumps and shit.
Oh, that I already am scared of the speed that I gain.
Really?
Yeah, like because one time I didn't stop properly and I fell on my ass.
Yeah.
And that hurt a lot. And I wasn't going that fast, but fast enough to know like that's about to hurt. I was going down. I was like, ugh. And I braced for impact.
The snow's unforgiving, man.
Yeah.
You think it's nice and fluffy and bunnies and things like that? No, definitely
unless
not.
it's fresh pow.
Yeah.
Fresh pow. But
you got the lingo already.
Yeah. Well, TJ loves saying it. So that's where I picked it up.
Dope, man. So you had a good weekend?
Yeah, great weekend. Like the thing that was running through my head was like, I'm gonna fail and I'm gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I had a tweet this morning that like I came up with, and it really sums up. I don't mean to get too philosophical.
Get into it, bro.
So like I don't like the failure culture, right? The failure culture of you're not allowed to fail. Failure is not an option. But in my head, like, no, you have to fail. So I tweeted out this morning at like 5 a.m. Failure is an option. Success is paved with the blood of your failures.
Yeah.
Right. So like, to put it in simple terms for some people, because they don't put this connection, but I did not too long ago. Let's say you're playing a video game, right? You're playing a first-person shooter. That's all the rage right now, right? Like you're playing Fortnite. Every time you lose, that's a failure.
Yeah.
But what do? You hit that start button again, and you try. And I try to connect it to that because when people... I've done it. I said that to my brother, and he was like, damn, you're right. Like, you literally fail every time you lose, but you keep trying. And I'm like, well, take that aspect, take that idea, and put it to, like... your aspiration, like your goals, your studies, your business, whatever, right? Like failure is an option.
Yeah, I think that the reason that people don't look at failures as opportunities is because they see all day is just wins and wins and wins. So when they don't win the first try, they think, damn, I'm doing something wrong, and it's not like that. All the times that I've had a failure or a loss, I've learned from it. And you have to, because there's not much things that you're just going to do once, snowboarding and just be 1080 it.
No way.
You have to learn, man.
Want it,
And those people who don't learn from their lessons, they just keep repeating it and repeating it. And if you use that the mindset to, you know, okay, what went wrong? What did I do wrong in this situation? What all happened? Take all that into consideration. So when that situation comes back again, then you attack it in a different way.
Absolutely.
And then if that goes wrong, you just put all the data in your head.
Yeah.
And then that's how I figure things, man. All of this is just collecting data. And then
absolutely.
you learn how to use it in certain circumstances and whatever you're put into. Even like podcasting, you know, this isn't about cars. This is about talking to another human being, getting like deep down who they are and figure how they think, how they maneuver. And then you use that data inside of you, you know, so maybe there's a strong point that you're at that I'm not strong at that. I can say, hey, well, how does Calvin do it? Okay, that's a good, you know, and just,
I love that.
Just move like that. It's just learning, man. But a lot of people, they don't learn from their mistakes that they make, and they keep making them over and over.
They're just afraid.
Yeah, it is, man. You get afraid of answering the real question. Is it me? Is what I did made this situation happen? A lot of people don't want to answer that. You know, they'd rather pass the blame to somebody else. But once you start like taking the blame and taking accountability,
absolutely,
dude, it gives you so much strength. You know, I'll take accountability for things that happen that necessarily aren't even my fault. Because it gives me the power.
Sure.
If something happened and I don't have, I didn't do nothing, that takes all the power away. So something that somebody else can do can cause my life to change, you know, and that takes my power away. I'm in control of my life 100%. And if something bad does happen, there's a way for me to spin it in my head. Well, maybe if I would have done something a little different, not towards like a guilty way, but just to learn from that situation. You know?
Yeah. No, I resonate with that. That's awesome.
So we're getting deep already, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm philosophical as hell, dude.
I love it. So
it's Sunday.
Before we get any further, can you give us a quick breakdown of who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I'm just a hot boy Pinoy on the internet. I make memes. I try to help people. My ambitions have changed in the last three weeks. I'm shooting for the stars, and it's exciting. Like, I've been in such a, as Frank said, like on my Instagram and Twitter, I've been so deep into like wanting to strive for myself, and like alongside that helping others. Like my biggest ambition right now is to make 100 milli by 20-30 years. I see it happening. Right. Like, but it's not the money, right? It's not the money. I don't care about the money. It's about my passion to help people build stuff. Like I love building my thing right now, and I want to pass that idea to someone else. Right. Like, so the goal is venture capitalism, and Rick just recently taught me of private equity, and that's really cool. I like that idea. Right. But I stream on Twitch at the moment. I'm starting a business, clothing business, and eventually, like, the goal is a fulfillment center. I'd love to do that sort of thing. I'm working with a whole bunch of good people at the moment on my social medias and my platforms. I'm very happy to be here, starting the podcast up again and being a guest on your podcast.
Thank you, man.
That's awesome. Like, I love talking about this. I've realized something. Like, I know a lot of people like you, like AccuAir Boys, like Rob Dom. I know a lot of people, and they have a story. And my goal for the next several years is to hear their story.
I love it, man.
Right.
I love it, dude. That's one of the reasons why I have this podcast, because I feel like so many people in our industry, and even not in our industry, local guys who have a small business, like, they never get heard. You know, it's hard to gain a following. I mean,
absolutely.
Imagine if you're not in the car community. Imagine if you're just like, I had some guys that were into barbecue, right? One of my last guests, he's into barbecue. It's like, how big is that niche as far as like social media wise and growing like that, it's not going to be as big as it is in the automotive community. Sure. So I want to give these guys the platform that they could come in. That's awesome. And not to get them a following or anything like that, but just to have their story heard.
Yeah.
You know, I've had so many home runs, dude, with people that I've never even talked to. Someone hooked me up with them and said, hey, you should have this guy on, he's a good guy. Literally met them. Hey, what's up, nice to meet you. Sit down and talk for 3-4 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like Eric from IlkFab.
Yeah.
I met Eric a few times, and we just talked on, you know, texting and stuff like that. He'll need parts or whatever.
Yeah.
But we've never really had like a sit down. Sure. Not even for 10 minutes. You know, I would see him at SEMA, but it's just loud talking at the club and things like that. We talked for 4 hours, bro.
Oh my god,
4 hours. Dude.
Yeah, he has a story.
He has a great story, man. It's just that people have gone through so much in life, and just because they don't have a business or a YouTube channel or a following, that doesn't mean that they don't have a story, you know. And I feel that everybody's story, they have value in it for the listener to tell what they've come through. Because I have guys on here that if they've been through the dumps, man, the lowest of the low, and then now they're doing it. Yeah. So if somebody's listening and they're living nice, and you know they have a nice room at their parents' house or whatever, nice car, like shit, I don't have any excuses. You know.
Hell yeah.
So like I'm excited for you, man. I really feel that 2020 is going to be a good year for everybody. Everybody that I've spoken to, they're just so they have a real positive mind for what's going to come in 2020. Yeah. So you called it the year of prosperity.
Kind of.
What made you come up to the realization that things needed to change in 2020?
Okay, I can answer that question, and I'll be honest. I spent the last 2-3 years with my long-term girlfriend, right? But 3 weeks ago, we did not end up working out. So I realized through that process, and I'm still going through it. Yeah, of course,
definitely.
Right. I'm recovering quite well, if I don't say so myself. Yeah. Right. But through that process, I found myself again. I learned what I did wrong, what's not good about myself, and I was like, damn, I need to figure it out. So one day I was sitting in front of my Supra, and I'm like, yo, I have a Supra. That's crazy. To me, that's crazy, right? And that's for skirting by with minimal effort for the past 2-3 years. And I'm like, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of saying that I'm lazy. I don't want that no more. So immediately I started finding information on like something like this, something small, like this little book. Tim Quick was the video that I watched, and he said, you write 3 things for personal, and then 3 things for business.
Is that like daily actions?
Daily actions.
Got you. Okay.
So of course you could do more. But these 3 things will get you through what you need to do for the week. And it has been so motivating to see me cross off each thing. Yeah. And then being like, yo, I still have way more time. And I use that time, right? When I stopped being lazy, I looked at how many hours I spent watching YouTube. Yeah. It said 8-10 hours a day. A day. And I would guess to say like probably 2 hours of that was probably something learning, something productive, but the other 8 hours is entertainment. And I was like, I can't do that anymore. I had to get up. And in the last 3 weeks, I've accomplished a lot, and I'm kind of running out of things to do, honestly. It's pretty crazy.
Really?
Yeah. So my schedule is from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. is the streaming window. If TJ calls me at like 10, I leave. Go do that till like 4 p.m. And then after that, it's all this stuff, right? It's pretty crazy how much time. There's not a lot of time. It's finite. But there's a lot of time that you have. Yeah. And if you use it well, you kind of like sit there like, oh my gosh, I need to find more stuff to do. So I've been reading books, completing tasks like Right now, I filed for an LLC like a week ago.
Hell yeah, man.
It's taking a while because California and the holidays, but I'm so excited for all that, because once that hits the ground, I'm gonna like start zooming.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Good for you, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad to hear that, dude.
Yeah.
So were you known as the lazy person? Was that like the joke, or was it just in yourself that you knew that
I knew
you
that
weren't?
I was.
You knew it was?
So to answer your question, I was seen as really smart, a philosopher, right? I was seen as someone that's going to go places. I was seen as like all the good things, right?
Yeah.
And I let that build me, right? I am who I am today because of those people and what they said to me. I don't care about what people think. I do whatever I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that I'm not doing good things. So I switched it, right? I used to say I was a leader of leaders, but that's lazy.
Yeah.
That's actually so wrong and lazy, right? I'm a leader, period.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm a leader of leaders, is I just wait till someone does something good and I tell them what to do. No. That's a terrible mindset. That's just feeding my old mentality of just doing minimal, right? I know, and I was told that I'm a leader, period. So I'm going to utilize that now, and I have been. I don't have a big team, and I don't have capital to compensate for their time. So I asked them to invest their time in me. I have like 4 or 5 people helping me with social media and stuff, right? And I'm working on getting help for the merchandise business, right? It's fun leading. I love it. I love it so much, right? I've also learned that I'm weak, right? But I'm also strong. Where I'm weak, I don't deal with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to edit. Then time investment of learning how to edit. I'll learn how to edit in like 3 months, but then to get good, it takes a couple years.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And I can't sit there and do it. I don't want it. So I'd rather find a way to have someone else help them help me, right? So one of my stream viewers, he's helping me with editing, and he has amazing ambition. He's only 16, and
nice.
I want to help him like through his career. Like he's invested time in me. I'm gonna invest time in him, right? As I said earlier, my goal is 100 mil, but I only expect to pay myself $70,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right. Statistically, 70,000 is about where people can exist and not worry about food, not worry about transportation, not worry about the roof over their head. That is happiness. Finding it in your friendships, finding it in your family, finding it in yourself. Right? I have all those things. I realize that I have a Supra, I have a nice watch, I have great family, I have great friends. I don't need anything else, but I want 100 mil to help people. So that's the dream. That's the goal. Pay myself humbly, be humble, try to just help. Like I see these people like on Shark Tank, like get really happy, and that makes me happy. My role models at the moment are like Mr. Beast, Ellen, David Dobrik. They just throw money away for other people, and I love that idea. Like I told my mom my first purchase, if I can, is I'm buying her house, the rest of her house for her.
Hell yeah, man.
So
do you know why you feel so passionate about helping people?
No, I don't. I honestly don't.
Has there been a time that you needed help and there wasn't anybody else to help you out?
Oh, you know what? You're right. Now that you say that. Okay, so I have privilege. I am privileged.
Okay.
Period. My mom and dad love me dearly. My mom will give her life for me. The house that we live in is mine and my brother's. I work with TJ, caring friend, dear friend of mine. He wants the best for me. Nothing but the best. I literally come in, help with the car, If that takes 2 hours, it takes 2 hours. He gives me time. I have time and I have a place to live and I have food to eat. So literally my money, I'm treating like Monopoly money.
Yeah.
Right? Because I have no worries and I'm privileged for that and I'm thankful for that. Absolutely. Right? But I know my situation. I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm not dumb and I'm not naive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to achieve my goal, because in doing so, the people that helped me will receive help back. I believe in a social equity, right? I don't think karma exists as a as a presence, but karma is the word, right? The people that I surround myself with tend to be similar, right? So if I help them, I don't expect anything back, but I will be there. I'll be there in some form, right? And if they want to come back, I'm waiting for that karma. I don't expect it.
Yeah.
And I just want them to give out more, not necessarily to me, but out more outward, right? So when I said earlier that I found myself again, I was content at the age of 20, which was 4 years ago. I was content. I can die happy. I think I've left an impression. My legacy is here, and especially today. And if I live longer, it'll be bigger.
Yeah.
But today, I've impressed on enough people substantially that I think my legacy of passing that good karma on will live. Whether it's me or it's the idea of passing it on. I don't care if it's from me. But so as long as the idea is there in that person, I think that's really beautiful, right? Because there's nothing nicer than feeling secure, feeling cared about, feeling wanted, right? So that's where I am, and I want to give that to people.
Now, have you been on the opposite side of it, though?
What do you mean?
Of
Not having
that?
No, I can't say I have. I've been very privileged. I know from stories, because my mom's upbringing was difficult. My girlfriend's or ex-girlfriend's upbringing was difficult. And a lot of people, friends, their upbringing is difficult. And I understand that. And I see how nice my shit is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I appreciate what I have. And I don't want people to experience. Because my mom's goal, again, is only to make sure that my brother and I have a beautiful life. Literally only thing she cares about is that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a adorable story, but when we started out, she's a doctor in the Philippines. Like resident, like full-blown practice. But when she came to America, doesn't count. RIP.
Oh, really?
Absolutely not.
Oh, shit.
You have to retake the board exam,
okay,
which is, I think it's the board exam, but like the big test. You have to retake it and take classes before it. She was like, that's not worth the time anymore. So when we came here, absolutely dirt poor, right? And she didn't want me to be sad. So 2 hours every other day when we go to the mall, she just let me play in the toy store. I never could take anything. I never understood why I couldn't take anything, but I knew I couldn't. And she just let me play. She'd just sit there. This was before phones. This was like Nokia, like throw it against the wall, doesn't break phone, right?
Snake.
Like Snake, right? She doesn't even play video games,
yeah,
right? So like I was given this privilege and I'm not going to squander it.
So you were born in the Philippines?
I was actually born in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I was born in Philadelphia. For 3 months, they were staying there, and then she had to go back to the Philippines to finish her residency.
Okay.
So that took like 3 years. So I grew up there from infancy to 3 years old, and then we came back, and we moved to Florida. Florida, because that's where her family is. Okay. California is where my dad's side is. That's why we're here today.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so there was just, she works absolutely ridiculously hard, and it's no one deserves that woman, not even my dad. I tell him that. I haven't told him that, but don't clip that. But yeah, it's like nobody deserves her, and she just wants the best for her kids. She's an Asian mother, so and I was a delinquent. I got suspended twice. My grades were subpar. Like, I almost didn't graduate high school. That's how bad. But no matter what, she supports and doesn't care.
Yeah.
It hurts her, and she literally tells us, "You make me cry every time." Like, my brother got ear piercings, and she was like, for 6 months, she looked at Benedict and would tell him like, "Oh, I'm so sad." But she jokes, and it's a great time, and she's just given me so much privilege, and I honestly don't want to squander it. Like I said, like, and to answer your question, no, I don't know what it's like to be not loved. I did learn to be emotional after my breakup. I gained that. I gained that idea. I gained human from that.
So you weren't like that before?
Absolutely not. So to get into that, I was a pragmatist, right? I prided myself on being pragmatic, right? To be able to logically go through situations, understand both sides, and make a educated decision, right? But that made me a robot. I didn't feel.
Like
right?
Sheldon.
Yeah, like Sheldon. Similar. But so I didn't feel anything, right? I distanced myself. That's why one of the reasons why my relationship failed. But in failure, we learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always like devil's advocate. I was always like, oh, I got this. Logically, we could solve this problem. But then after the breakup, I realized like I want emotion. I cried a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to every time I talk about my mom, I'm about to cry, but I hold myself.
Yeah.
Because I can't speak straight.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. But I gained emotion, and it was a beautiful thing, and I thank her for it. Right. And like, I realized that pragmatism was a fear coping mechanism. I was afraid of loving. I was afraid of sharing my feelings. I was afraid of it, right? I would hold it in because I think that's safer. I can't stress enough how much how much better I am sharing my feelings and being positive.
Yeah.
Like, only in 3 weeks of changing my entire mindset, I feel better.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it, and it just feels good, man. That's all I can say.
Why did you feel like you wanted to hold it in? Were you not comfortable with how people would feel about you if you let your feelings out, or?
More so, it was logic, right? So objectively, emotions get in the way of rash decisions, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. They do. It's not a bad thing though. But I tried my best to make sound decisions from experiences and teachings of others, and I try to go about it again as logical as possible.
Yeah.
And outcomes would go in my favor, but what happens is you lose human.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect, huge disconnect, right? I would say terrible things like I would say terrible things to my ex, like, I don't know how long this will last, or
Yeah.
we may not work out. Like, how awful is that to say to someone? Like, I realize this.
Yeah.
Like, that's so awful. Like, you don't, and I am upset with myself because she was a very willing to love person, right? And I apologize. Like, I can't apologize to her face at the moment because that's too much for me. But I apologize to her. It's difficult.
I feel you, dude. You're in a big transition point right now.
I'm trying to figure it out.
And I can tell, and I can relate to it as well. Dude, back in the day, I would tell girls like, this is my world. Mm-hmm. You're just living in it. Yeah, because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
I felt this is my life. Either you're going to be a part of it or not. Mm-hmm. But then the person inside of me, when they would treat me half that bad, a quarter of that bad, mm-hmm. I would feel so lost and like, why don't you want to be with me, or why are you acting like this? Yeah. But not seeing the person that I am. Like,
you're not seeing that you're doing it.
Just being so blunt to them and so rude, and it helped me out so much get prepared for meeting my wife now, because I realized everything that I've done before. I've learned from all those lessons. Awesome. I've learned from the person that I was. And, I don't put blame on them. They were who they were. And if I decided to stick around, that was on me. I needed to learn the lessons. This isn't the kind of girl that I want. I'm not happy when they do these kind of things, but then I had to look in the mirror. It's like, dude, I don't like being that person. I don't like being that asshole.
Like, sure.
Even come to business stuff. Like, I look back at who I was 5 years ago, and I'm like, damn, bro, I wish I had somebody. I wish I had an OG to tell me, like, yo, Frank, you should probably chill out right now. This isn't the way to grow it. Because you get in your mind, and you're like, dude, everybody loves Downstar. I'm the biggest thing going out right now. So I'm fucking putting people down, talking shit to people. People are backing me up. Yeah, fuck those dudes, whatever. Is that really how I want to gain popularity, putting other people down? Because on the other side of the screen, that dude has a family. He has kids. He has a girlfriend or whatever. And I'm ruining the time that they have with them from my own selfish ego. So when I learned how to put my ego in check and to dial it down and to humble myself, dude, life has changed.
World's different, right?
So much more, dude. Like, I get so many more compliments now, and it's not about like the car or the money or anything like that. It's about like how the conversations we've had have touched somebody as they're driving right now to work, as they're at work wrenching with their headphones on, dude. Like, if we can give them a different perspective to look at their situation, maybe somebody right now, and I'm sure it is, most car guys are like that they don't respect the relationship that they're in right now. I see it so much where they'll post a meme or something on Facebook about like their girlfriend nagging or whatever, and I just look at it from the girlfriend's point of view. It's like, bro, you smell like gas. You come in at midnight and you want to fuck? Like, bro,
get that.
Fuck out of here, dude.
Shit out of here.
You'd rather kick it with your homies than kick it with me. And I'm supposed to just be waiting around like a dog when you come home and just wagging my tail. Oh, now you're ready to play. Dude, a lot of car guys got it fucked up, man.
Sure.
And I had it fucked up too.
Sure.
And I can speak from that experience. It's just you'll hit that road one day. And maybe that's what you're hitting right now. I know that I hit it, dude, and I'm glad that it happened to me early in my career, early in my 20s, so I was prepared for when I met my wife. And I seen the value that she brought to me, and I realized that if I want this to become something, I have to let my guard down. I have to stop being that guy who lives on the proverbial top of the mountain and is, if you want to be with me, you got to do this, this, and this. But what am I doing for them? So it's life, bro. And you're really lucky to learn this lesson now, early in your 20s. Because your 20s are basically like a wash. That's how I feel.
I agree.
You try anything that you want. I'm gonna move to Europe and I'm gonna sell bread out there. Figure it out. But once you get to your 30s, that's like, okay, cool, game on. I've done all the dumb shit that I needed to, and now it's just like, fine tweaking it.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
It's good to run into these lessons, man.
No, absolutely. It's a beautiful thing, honestly. Like, that's why I say, like, failure is an option, right? Like, I wouldn't learn. I think I put it on Instagram. Like, I'd rather fail and learn than be right, because you learn nothing when you're right. If you're the best, you can't get better.
Yeah.
Right. And I always thought that before, but I lost it. Like, oh man, it's been a beautiful experience the last 3 weeks. Like, honestly, I can't like stress it enough. Being busy is fun for me, right?
Seems like you got a good team to fall back on. It seems like you got a really good group of friends from the outside looking in. You know, it seems like you guys, especially TJ, it seems like you guys been there from the beginning, and he has your back, you know, and it's always good to have that. But when you live life like this is my world, you're living in it like I was, that really just didn't apply to my girlfriends. It applied to friends as well. You know, it took me a long time to figure out the value
To put it together.
of friends. Yeah. And still to this day, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I don't have friends from Varsity Blues like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's and that's something that I admire you guys for, man. Just to have somebody that you've spent your early years with, and then your growth and growing together.
Yeah.
That's like extremely valuable, especially in times like this when you need friends around.
I do. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, like, how many stories I hear of people figuring out that their friend group is not the right friend group, and it's a scary thing to step out of that comfort of your friends and finding a new group. And I understand that. I'm again privileged that I didn't have to do that, because TJ, Kevin, Evan, Hunter, all my friends, right? Like, they're making something of themselves, right? Whether it's working for themselves or working for someone else, right? It doesn't matter. Everyone that we've stayed with, which is probably like 80% of our high school group, have fed off of each other, had fed off of each other's energy to continue to be the best in what we want to be, right? Our best self, right? And I thank everyone, and that's why, again, I want to give back. Like, and I like what you said about you're still learning, right? It's always still a battle. It's always still learning, and that's the beauty of it. That's the fun of it.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely, man. I look back at the beginning of 2019, and good thing now we have technology where we could watch videos and see pictures and things like that. So I'm a very visual person, and I can actually time travel into those times where we were at, you know, smell, taste, hearing. I can go back to that moment, and I can remember where I was at that time. In early 2019, that was when my journey started, and I started to change and to develop into a more caring, more positive type of person because of things that I've went through, you know, the years before. And just looking back at that now, at that time, I thought that, you know, I was at the pinnacle. So naturally, beginning of 2020 and the end of 2020, I'm definitely going to be a better version of myself till then.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not looking towards, you know, December 31st of 2020. I'm excited for the entire journey because that's where my experiences lie. You know, that's where my memories live at. They don't live at that, okay, now I'm here, the business is this big, this is that, I've got this kind of things. It's not about that. It's about going through the steps. And it takes a long time to put value in that. I spent so many of my past experiences not focused on the experience itself, just on not even understanding what's happening at that time, not taking time to realize that, this is something you should probably be present at, you know.
So I watched a couple things. So Gary V puts it well. He said, like, and I told this to Trizzy, I relayed it. He's only 16. I'm like, dude, enjoy your life. If you want to go hang out with your girlfriend, if you want to hang out with family, you want to hang out with friends, you got a lot of time, dog. Just know, like, you're doing it because you want to, and the more things you do, you're just making each of them take a little more time, right? You want to grow your business, it'll just take a little more time.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Right? You enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and you're doing it because you enjoy it, not because you're afraid of doing the other things, right? It just take a little more time. And like, I want people to enjoy. I could have said no to this trip to work, but the memories we had this weekend were what's the word? Priceless.
Yeah.
Priceless, absolutely priceless, right? I have Polaroids that I don't have on me, but it was beautiful, and I wouldn't have had that if I decided, hey, I don't want to nurture friends, right?
Yeah.
But you also, and I understood I want to hang out with friends, and I understood that this stuff here will take 2 days longer.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's totally fine. I could spare 2 days.
Yeah.
Right. And another thing was, I can't remember the video and I can't remember what was said exactly, but a lot of people forget. Oh, it was Casey Neistat. It was Casey Neistat. One of his newest videos. He talks about his time and how his ambitions versus memories like ratio out as time goes on, right? So the human brain and time scale works logarithmically, right? If you're 5 years old, 1 year is a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's a fifth of your life, right? But by the time you get to 60, it's a 60th of your life.
Yeah.
And the years start to mesh. That's why people are like, damn, where did the time go?
Yeah.
Right? And it just accelerates because your scale of time each year is like less valuable.
Yeah, right? There's a term for that. I'm not sure the actual term. I think it's like time vacuum something. Yeah, because I've heard that before, and that made so much sense to me. And it's just me. I'm gonna be 35 this year. Like each year is like a 35th of my life.
Exactly.
But the way that I like to think about it is from 0 to 10. That kind of doesn't even really count, because how many memories do you really remember in that span of time?
Sure.
So I feel like the older you get, the more you're able to hold on to memories. Even in my 20s, like I was saying, I wasn't present in those times. I wasn't actively saying like, this is going to be something that I'm going to remember. I was just living it.
Sure.
So I feel from 30 to 40 in those 10 years, I'm going to be able to experience so many more things than I had from birth to 30.
Sure.
Because now I have the capability, now I have the tools to actually remember it, to be in the moment, and not just to be like growing.
Okay.
Because from if you're 60 years old, 30 to 60 is going to be way more valuable than birth to 30, because I think that you just have a lot more tools.
Okay. I'm going to argue against that real quick. So I think every year is valuable, okay? So though you don't remember, it doesn't matter. Your subconscious remembers it, right? So it's funny because the tendency is that memories from your younger years are usually bad memories. Something bad happened, you'll remember it. Reason being is the hypothesis is the brain remembers bad things more easily due to our survival mechanisms, right? Oh, you touch that thing, don't touch that again because it was hot.
Yeah.
Right? That sort of thing. So, but let's say I turn 60 right now, right? I would still hold value to my 1 to 10 because that 1 to 10 taught me a discipline of not having stuff and refraining from buying stuff. That's what it was instilled on me. From 10 to 20, I learned about pragmatism. I learned about Buddhism. I learned about all that kind of stuff. I learned about friendships. And how close friends were. But again, I'm like an example of like a lot of things going right.
Yeah.
Right. But for those who didn't go right, they still remember those bad times and they shape themselves. Like, you wouldn't have been that asshole if it weren't for past things, past experiences that were probably ego building, something like that. Right. For me, it was ego building. Everybody loved me, and it didn't really help me to grow as a person because I thought I was the best.
Yeah.
Right. But I learned from it because I had the time and resources, right? But I do agree with you wholly that from late 20s to 40 to 50 is super valuable, because that's when you start to cherish things. Your time is accelerating. You're starting to remember more. You start using technology. We're lucky, right, to hold on to those memories, those beautiful memories. And because of those early years that you learned, you were like, shit, now I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to hold on to the things that I fucking care about, right? And that's where I think a lot of people get lost. They get lost in their time. They forget, like you're saying, like from, I would say 20 to like 40 or even 50, because entrepreneurs tend to be like really old because they don't figure it out until their midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Right? So have a quarter life crisis.
Yeah, please.
Please have a quarter life crisis. Figure it out now. Because it worked out for me and it worked out for you.
Yeah.
Right? So, but we're still learning. Caveat. But so the people that are between 20 and 40 are like losing that idea of the present, right? They're looking really far ahead, trying to push really hard, right? Like, and I'm trying to manage this in my own head, right? That's why I went to Bear this weekend. I could have just stayed home, spent the 2 days to work hard, but like those memories that you will cherish now are so valuable, like you said.
Yeah.
Later on, right? It's so important to have that social interaction, right? I studied psychology as my first major, and it was like I love human interaction. I don't fear it at all. That's why I love public speaking. I love approaching people. I love approaching women. I love like I always get hosed for it by my friends, like, you're so loud, or like, why did you walk up to that random group? And it's ironic because due to them, I have the confidence to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So they gave me the ego to be able to be sociable. Right. The first time I met Tony, like, I don't know his job description officially, but he's like big boss man of McGuire's. He was one of the big boss mans. And I just said like, fuck you, Tony. The first time I met him. Right. Right. Big boss man.
And what did TJ say?
No, TJ didn't do it. He just rolled his eyes like, fucking Calvin, what the fuck are you doing? And that's where I learned. Oh shit. This is why I was a psychology major. I love that interaction, because my goal when meeting someone for the first time is they're never new.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my memes. I'm gonna hit them with inside jokes. Yeah. Because if they care to learn, if they care to be about the group, they'll figure it out. People are smart. They're not dumb, right? But if you don't want to be a part of my group, that's fine. I have a lot of friends. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. But my goal is to come in hot as Calvin, because you're getting what you're gonna get, right? You're gonna get me. This is gonna come up sooner or later. So why not now? And if you subscribe to it, then all the more power. We're going to have fun right away.
Yeah.
Right. My favorite thing is to say, like, someone asks for my name or they give me their name, and I tell them, don't remember my name. Don't remember it. I'm not going to remember yours. But if I earned your remembrance, then that's the appropriate time to remember my name. If I did not make an impression on you, if I was awful to you, don't remember my name, because it's pointless, right?
Yeah, I think we put a lot of weight in names.
Absolutely.
You know, just being in the industry, you meet so many people, and nowadays I don't even say nice to meet you. I say, hey man, good to see you, you know? And then with the conversation, it will come out if we've met before, if we've had an interaction. But realistically, if we don't have a valuable interaction, meaning there wasn't, you know, any sort of jokes, we didn't go somewhere, or we didn't do anything,
nothing memorable,
how am I going to remember it?
Exactly.
Dude? Because it's easy for you to remember me. And I don't want to sound cocky, but the same thing as you.
Same.
They watch you on YouTube, they watch you on Twitch. So when they see you, they feel like they know you. I don't have that capability of knowing this person, and I wish that I did.
Yeah.
I wish every single person I met, I wish we had a past, and I wish we had inside jokes, and I wish that we had memories together. But the reality of it is we don't.
We don't.
Until it gets to that point.
Yeah.
And I've had so many people to this day that I call really good friends that I can just call them right now if I needed something.
Yeah.
And before they were just customers, people that I just met at the booth.
Yeah.
And then one interaction turned into two. And then the next time I see that person,
Yeah.
and then keep going and keep going, and now they're just like some of my greatest friends in the industry, and it just grows from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I totally get what you mean, man, and I never want to make somebody feel like they're not important.
Yeah,
but it's hard to get to that next level because, dude, my brain's dying, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck's going on in there, but I can only remember like
that's
last month.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's what I'm saying, right? So, a lot of people don't think this way, and this is why I value my pragmatism. I still use it, but only when it calls for it. I know the tools that are necessary for certain situations, and I'm practicing to use emotion more. But my pragmatism taught me that. Hold up, I lost it.
It's there, bro. It's in the jar.
What were we talking about? This is terrible. Like
people remembering us making memories with people and names, and how names don't mean shit, and how nobody ever even wanted their name, but they were just given to them.
Fair enough.
And now I'm Frank because my parents just said that I'm Frank.
No, I lost it, man.
It's all good, man. It's in there somewhere.
It'll come up.
But yeah, it's I'm sure you meet a lot of people, and it's hard to remember them and to build.
Absolutely.
Even with us, you know, we've met a few times, but it kind of just
but it was
took
just
those,
like hey, what's up, bud?
Yeah,
and high five.
But it took those weird times. The last time I seen you was in the restroom at Luxor.
Yeah, that was such a coincidence. Like, dude, did you come from the thing? Yeah, man, that was like those interactions, right? It helps establish the person, but it doesn't warrant like substantial memory. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Right. And my okay, I got it. So my pragmatism allowed me to see like I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be real.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to be as real as possible so that we go into this knowing what's going on. So like those interactions don't warrant a substantial memory objectively.
Yeah.
Right. But that doesn't stop the fact that we'll be here together to create a memory again. Right. That is what I shoot for. That's what I shoot for. Like in the first meeting, like I want to impress on someone because they need to know what they're getting themselves into, right? And TJ knows, and he rolls his eyes every time I walk into a room because it's I'm hectic.
Yeah,
I'm hectic. So like an example is it was my friend Victoria's birthday a week ago, and the people that I know sat on the right side of the table. Victoria, Kevin, my brother, right? I sat on the left side. Mm-hmm. I dive into the deep end. Mm-hmm. That's what I learned from my social interactions, right? I used to approach old people. I used to approach young people. I learn a lot. So I sit on that table and I'm loud. Like my presence is there. Mm-hmm. And I love that about myself. And like, I want to impress because I want to earn the inside joke, right? I want to give out my inside jokes and I want to earn theirs, right? I don't like people, again, feeling like they're not a part of the group, because you are, right? If you're introduced to me, you're of substance, and I'm gonna not allow. That's a terrible way of putting it. I'm gonna share my life experience, because I've been there. I've been the new kid, and I didn't want to feel that way again. So as a tangent, I love telling the story. So as a tangent, first day of middle school, because we moved a lot, right? Because we moved from Florida. Oh, we moved from Philadelphia to the Philippines to Florida, Florida to San Diego, National City.
Well, when did you end up in California?
When I was like 5 years old, 5 or 6. So, we moved a lot. So we went to National City, then we went to Temecula, and then we went to San Diego, right? So I was a new kid a lot, and my brother was young. So by the time he was 5, or by the time he was growing up with friends, we were already living in San Diego, one place established. So I had to fend for myself as I grew up. Mm-hmm. And I hated feeling like the new kid. Mm-hmm. And kudos to younger me. He was just like, send it, bro. Fucking send it. So middle school, first day, 6th grade, no one. I walk into the classroom. The first thing I say, I point. I'm going to make all of you my friends. All of you. And funny enough, I was put next to this kid. His name's, I don't know if it's Connor or Cameron. I don't remember. They're twins.
Yeah.
But let's say it's Cameron. So Cameron Tour. It was probably Connor Tour, because he was always the stoic one.
Yeah.
So Miss Valentine put me next to Connor. And I didn't know this at the time, but I became friends with Connor, and I learned of his stoicism. And he was probably the worst person I could sit next to.
Yeah.
Connor is like the guard dog of all the friends. Like he's like the gatekeeper, and I was put next to him.
Yeah.
And he told me years later that he when that happened, he looked at me and was like, "Who the fuck is this kid coming into our school saying shit like that?"
Wants to be friends. Who the fuck wants to be friends?
Yeah, but like it was like middle school is like the little turfs and cliques and stuff. So I was put next to him, and I befriended him.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful moment, because that was my swan song. That was my childhood, like, I'm just gonna send it. And I try to live up to that, Calvin, right? I try to live up to that kid. That kid literally doesn't give a fuck about anything, right? And he's just out there to enjoy life and interact. I try to be him.
Yeah.
Right. But the story goes, like, after that, I became friends with everyone. Like, I did it.
Yeah.
Job done. So,
now, do you think that's the only way to achieve that? Do you think that you would maybe put off some people who aren't that receptible to, like, such a in your face relationship?
So it's worked out for me pretty good so far, because I'll explain in a second, but to answer your question, it's like I think it is a lot to deal with. I agree, right? Dealing with someone like me is a lot, right? But I don't think it's the only way to go about it. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert, right? There's nothing wrong with that, because you still create beautiful, long-lasting relationships between humans. And it's just another way to go about it. I think the thing in common between myself and someone that doesn't do what I do is that longing or looking for that meaningful relationship, because at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for, right? It doesn't matter how you go about it. If you want to slowly introduce yourself and work towards something like that, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. I think that works. That'll work just as well as like going in hot like a meteor, right? Because at the end of the day, if someone wants to subscribe to your idea, they will. If they don't, you move on to the next person. It's simple, right? So recently I've been trying to work on my game. I'm trying to I don't fear rejection from friends and people I know, but strangers I fear a little bit, especially women. I fear that because I didn't learn that. I haven't gone through that.
Yeah.
Right. But I told Sabrina my goal is to get rejected a lot. Yeah. And by this time, June, that I will be desensitized, and the only thing that I want from conversations that I approach are the enjoyment of the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't care about the result, right? Like, the fear of being rejected is a wall of not getting to the fun, right? Like I don't want to approach a woman or a man, or just the fear of them being an asshole is enough to like stop people from having fun, right? Because I find a lot of fun in interaction. Like on the ski lift, I just tapped this. He was wearing a dinosaur onesie. And I was like, this guy's interesting. So I tap him on the shoulder and I'm like, hey, that's a nice backpack. I should have brought mine, because he had a camelback. Yeah. Right. And that's how I started the conversation. He was like, yeah, dude. And it evolved into him telling a story of like how he's a beast. He does like tree runs. He goes to Mammoth all the time. Right. He taught me a couple pointers, and he was basically like, okay, dude. And I wasn't doing this beforehand. I wasn't trying to. He's like, you just got to send it, dude. You got to get some speed and throw your hips out. Yeah. I was like, okay. And then he went off to the right and I went off to the left, and I went down the mountain. I was like, here we go. And I scream. I'm like, ah, and I throw my body across, and I stop. And I'm like, oh my God, he was right. Yeah. Right. And I wouldn't have learned that because TJ and everyone else was having fun, and they don't, I didn't want to bother them. Right. Yeah. I was going to figure it out. Right. My brother was with me, but he was a novice as well. First time for him as well. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't have learned that if I didn't just tap this dude with a dinosaur costume on, like no helmet, and like he had like his speaker playing really loud and shit, sipping on his water. And I'm like, wow, that was fun. That interaction was fun.
Do you find yourself separating from groups and doing your own thing, or trying to discover your own thing a lot?
Yeah. So, it depends. I try not to be comfortable, right? So there are aspects in my life where I'm desensitized to being uncomfortable, like jumping into a conversation with someone that I don't see as a, for lack of a better term, like a sexual like context, right? Mm-hmm. If I don't see them as a threat, I'm not afraid to jump in, right? That being a guy or a girl, mm-hmm. depending on who. Like in a classroom setting, no one's a threat. I literally just, when the teacher says group up, I find the prettiest girls and I try to group up with them, and it worked every time. Yeah. But I didn't see them as a threat because I didn't want it that way, right? But I'm desensitized to that. And to answer your question, do I find myself breaking off? It depends, right? Why would I break off from friends if the point of us is to hang out, right? But if my friends were like doing something already and they wanted to like see me go into something, right? Then I'll just, here we go. I'll count to 3. That's my rule. I count to 3. If I don't move on one, I don't deserve that. Yeah. I don't deserve it at all. Like whatever interaction, I don't deserve it. I failed. So I'll try again next time, right? So, like, the only time I break off is when I get the social cues of it's all right? If the point is us hanging out, then no. But if the situation calls for it, then sure. Like the dinner thing, right? I know my friends. They're gonna eat and they're gonna talk about whatever. but there were new people on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
So I ditched my friends. I can always go over there, show some value by interacting with my friends, and them coming to me and me portraying my value again, right? My social value. It depends. Like, but again, if I feel like I would have fun jumping into an interaction and it'll entertain my friends, that's more the reason to do it, right?
Yeah. When's the last time that you had fun, or what do you do that's actual fun?
What do you mean by that? Like things like activities and stuff?
Just when you're in the moment and you realize, wow, I'm having fun.
Oh, when I'm laughing.
Right
oh, so like right now I'm having so much fun. I love conversation. I love telling people my story, and I love hearing other people's story. And it's always fun interacting. So it doesn't matter who it is, friends or strangers. I find myself, if I'm laughing, I laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not easy to make laugh, but I laugh a lot. So if you make me laugh, I'm already your friend. It's done. It's sealed.
Yeah.
You make me laugh, it's great, right? And you continue to do that. It's like, because the way that I see laughter is, I saw a really great hypothesis on it. I think it was Veritasium, but he was like, why do babies laugh? Why do we laugh?
'Cause they don't have to work. They don't have responsibility.
Fair enough.
So you get to wipe their ass and feed them, and they get to nap all day.
Must be nice.
I'll be laughing all day, bro. Give me an iPad too. Shit.
Candy Crush on that shit all day.
It's lit being a baby.
Yeah. So.
No, I feel you.
the baby hypothesis is that they laugh every time they learn something new. That's why jokes are always the funniest the first time you hear it. It's absolutely new to them. Like, oh, when you do the peekaboo, right? They're like, oh shit, you disappeared, bro. Where'd you go?
Yeah.
Right? Or you pull out like you do a coin trick and it disappears. Like,
yeah.
What? Right? And it's that bewilderment that makes them laugh. And I appreciate that wholly. You make me laugh. You taught me something new. Whether it's information, right? I laugh at a lot. Like, let's say you taught me something about like coding and I couldn't figure that out. I'll laugh really loud.
Really?
Like super loud. Like in TJ rolls his eyes every time. He he gets really upset whenever I'm being loud, but everyone does. I don't care though. But it's because someone taught me something. So like talking to Reno was like a great time. Reno knows a shit ton of things. Reno from AccuAir.
Oh, that's a dope name.
Yeah.
Shout out to Reno,
my boy. Right. So talking to Reno, and it makes people smile. Like even a smile is like a laugh in a way, right? So it makes people smile when I have that bewilderment, and it's genuine, right? You teach me something and I'll laugh really loud or smile really big because I appreciate you teaching me something. Yeah. I've always been a lifelong learner, and I've always prided myself on the fact that I want to learn more than get the grade. That's why I kind of failed. Well, one, because I was lazy and didn't want to do the work, but I took away a lot from every class. Like, I hate when people say, when will I ever use this? I'm like, motherfucker, you could use it right now. Yeah. Right? You could go walk out, talk to someone. When will I ever have a conversation about physiology and anatomy? A lot, surprisingly, right? You would think, hey, that seems like a lot of bullshit about the human body. But think about it. A lot of people talk about diets. A lot of people talk about working out. Yeah. And you have that inside information of how physiologically it works. You could be like, oh, yo, your calcium gates are opening. You need more calcium. You feel weak. You need to eat whatever, right? So it's wholly improper to say that the information you're learning is useless, because if you enjoy conversation, you need this information.
Yeah, I find that a lot. Sometimes I'll just be talking with my wife and just bring up like some stupid fact that nobody should even know. Yeah. It's like, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't know, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, yeah. No, it's huge. Like, that think back. Like everybody that's listening, think back. The last time you busted out a fun fact, how many smiles did you get?
Hell yeah.
It's great because you're teaching people something, and it feels good to feel that social acceptance, that social like happiness. Like I live for that shit. That's why I said fuck you to Tony, because I know that he would be okay with that. Right? I come in fast and hard, but I'm not ill-informed, right? If I see a green light, I don't hesitate to go for it.
Got you.
Right? So like the fastest way, pro tip, if someone likes to cuss, fastest way to make friends is start cussing.
Yeah.
Okay? Fastest way. Absolutely proven by me.
By me.
Hundreds of thousands of times. Okay? Anecdotally by me. Okay? So that I picked up on that and I went for it and it worked.
Yeah.
Right? Because what do you do with your friends? If you cuss a lot, what do you do with your friends? They literally say something dumb, you say, fuck you, dude, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Right? But you all laugh about it. So that is what I live for. That's what I live for. Making people feel included, feeling loved, and laughing together and creating that bond, right? Social status to me doesn't mean anything. Well, it does if I'm pursuing, right? So like if I was pursuing McGuire's, I'd probably be a little more respectful, right? Which I was respectful, but understanding their position, right? But I would be, I that's what I'm trying to condition out right now, right? So I'm trying to make everyone feel equal, right?
Yeah.
Because we're all humans, right? It makes me sad that I get idolized sometimes, and I have to humble them sometimes, and sometimes it's not good, like not very nice, like.
So give an example if you can.
I'm trying to think of one. So, people come up to me. Oh, I've had a couple people say to me like, "Oh, you're supposed to be here to sign my shit," and I'm like, "The fuck?
Yeah.
Really?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna sign your shit."
Really?
Yeah, I'm really rude sometimes, but it's funny most of the time.
No, I mean that they approached you.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. So it wasn't like super rude. They were nervous, and it was, it sounded like they couldn't figure out what to say, so they said something like that. They got defensive, and I was like, "No, man, I'm not. No, I'm human, dog.
Yeah.
Look at me. I need to go take a shit right now. Okay, so give or like someone. Oh yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. Like I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Can we take a picture?" I'm like, "Dog, I gotta pee. I'm human. I gotta pee. I gotta take a shit.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Don't follow me in there because I'll say no, right?" But I love telling people that I'm human or showing them that I am, because there's a huge disconnect. The celebrity culture, there's a huge disconnect, right? So they don't see celebrities as humans anymore. They see them as like this thing to look at.
Yeah.
Right? Like not necessarily an object, but like an object of praise or something like that, right? It's like they forget that they do the same things as you do, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't suck, right? I appreciate my fans and I try to be nice, but it's always interesting to see their face when I remind them that I'm human. They're like, "Oh, you have to poop."
Do you feel like that's maybe one of the reasons why you want to do streaming and Twitch and things like that, to give a more human element to you?
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't think of it that way. I haven't realized that that's similar, but I do say things along those lines, right? So, I love the live interaction, right? So if someone talks shit, you can't just ignore it, or you should ignore it. It depends what they say. But if someone talks shit, you have to be there. You have to be there and deal with it. Or if someone says something really nice, you can be there for that as well. Like I love when people come in and say that I've influenced them, or inspired them, and I'm like, damn, that was worth it. That was so worth. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like I love the thank you economy from Gary Vee. Like giving out like, because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it weren't for them. But at the same time, I'm still human. Like, don't get that wrong. Like, I'm here live, and you're gonna have to deal with Calvin. There's like a lot of people, a lot of brand new people that don't understand Twitch too much.
Yeah.
Look at me and say, why isn't he reading chat? He should be reading chat. And I look at
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the people that tend to be in chat tell me, or tell them, hey man, he's playing the game, you can't deal with it. But if I catch it, I'm like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Can't you see I'm trying to get a nuke in Modern Warfare? You think I can read chat while I'm trying to pay attention to that? And they realize quickly, I think they realize quickly, because I don't see them say anything again, right? I don't mean to discourage my chatters to not chat, but there is that people forget that we're people.
No, I get what you mean, dude. And that's why it's so good to have all these different type of communities. You know, my podcast community is completely different from my other social communities, and I love it, man.
Nice.
I'll have guests that come on here and they're like, afterwards, like, damn, I don't know if I should have said that. I'm like, bro, listen, the guys listening right here, they're not going to listen to 2-3 hours of podcasts to post up some shit and say like, remember you said this? No, that's not my community. That's a community maybe other podcasters have, you know, but not us, man. We can say things, we can throw around ideas, and the people listening, they're the same way, you know. So I really enjoy that. You're like cultivating your own community that you want to have.
Yeah.
And I hope it never gets to that point where I have to censor myself more than I would personally censor myself.
Sure.
You know, the things that I say, I'm not just rambling shit off and just like cussing and dropping the N-bomb and saying whatever I'll say. I know that my words have a weight to them.
Sure.
But I'm not saying disrespectful things that I feel are disrespectful just to say them. This is my ideas, and this episode, I'm gonna probably change the way I think about things in 100 episodes from now. But people realize that they're along for the journey. So maybe that's what the Twitch is. This is your more your community, and just like how you want it to be, rather than just, hey, everybody's invited. This is my Instagram. I'm going to be at this show. Anybody come. Like, I don't want everybody to come. Sure. I want them to appreciate what we're putting out there. And to appreciate it, it takes a long time. You got to be invested in it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? There's a beautiful video. Explaining this particular Japanese, I think he's an animator, right? He is notorious for blocking people that annoy him, right? You ask him, how many people do you have blocked? Hey, if you ask a repeat question, if you didn't go through his Twitter, and you ask a repeat question, blocked.
Yeah.
Right? If you ask him how his day is, blocked. Yeah. Right? He's notorious, and people have been trolling for years to get on the block list. Yeah. It's like prestigious. Right? So wow. Yeah, it's a beautiful video. So he goes to Japan and meets the man, and he learns that he's actually like super nice guy. He walked up to him and said, how many people are on your block list? And he pulls it up, and here you go. Yeah. And showed him, and he was like, shit. And the realization of the video is that he's just a nice guy. He knows that it's his corner of the internet. Yeah. Right? You come into my corner. You have to deal with my like you're here on my turf, right? If you want, right? Like, I'm not going to censor myself, right? More than you would already. Yeah. But this is my corner. I can do whatever I want in my corner. You walked into here. If you want to be a part of this community, you got to be willing to be a part of this community, right? I don't necessarily think that way, but I think it's hilarious, and I think it is a viable way of doing things. But I really adore that fact that he understands he doesn't want like everybody. He doesn't want specific people, or not specific people, but like a certain type that will just troll him, right? He doesn't want that, and he could deal with it, so he does. He swiftly blocks you. So I do adore that idea. I utilize some of that, right, to make people understand that I'm human, but I do want to, instead of doing the whole blocking, and I'd rather, like you said, cultivate, right?
Yeah.
Try to educate and hopefully have a thought, right? I don't expect to change anyone, but I want them to have a thought, right? Rethink, like all the experiences that we've done so far that teach us, fuck, you got to think about that.
Do you ever feel that you're misunderstood as a person?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not. I think I'm well spoken, and I have conviction in my voice that I think I'm well understood. I don't feel like the only thing that I feel like is people not doing the same justice for me, right? I'm willing to wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm willing to answer your question, only refraining if it's too deep, right? Like really, really deep. I have a really great quote from my younger self, right? I was hugging my friend and the yard duty came and tried to peel us apart, and she asked, she was like, you can't be hugging like that. You can't be touching each other like that. Like, and she said, and she asked me, what, don't you have personal space? And I go, no, my personal space is right here. and I gesture to my skin,
Yeah.
right? Like I have no personal space, right? I love interaction, right? If you step a bounds that I'm not comfortable with, I won't voice it, right? So at meets, people come up to me and give me a hug. I'm okay with that. But if someone like picks me up or something, I will be like, put me down, and I'll be stern, and I'm like, put me down. That's not okay. Don't fucking do that, right? Go enjoy yourself, but don't fucking ever do that again, right? So I have my bounds, right? But hugs, high fives, like I really appreciate when people ask, right? And that's respectful.
Yeah.
That's a respectful thing to do. But if you come up to me, just randomly hug, I'll say, hey, could you ask next time?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to do something like that. I'm not afraid to say what I think is like important to do in like general social interaction, right? You have to get those cues. You have to get the cues for touch.
Yeah.
You have to get the cues for certain words, right? I wouldn't say fuck you to Tony if I didn't get that cue, right? If he was like an older gentleman, not to say that he's not old, he's super old. Just kidding, Tony. But like if he was an older gentleman and he like, or Japanese, right? I understand there's a culture there, and I understand that you can't do that shit, right? So I've interacted with enough people to know that there's social cues, right? And maybe, and I misread a lot. Don't get me wrong. I misread a lot. So I go in and do my thing, and if I misread and I act and it doesn't work out well, I tone back, right? It's a constant like on off, right? Like I go full send either way because it gets me fast results and it works for me. I don't recommend it at all. Fucking yeet, let's go. No, I don't recommend that.
Yeah.
But I find the thrill and enjoy that. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
But I understand culture. I understand upbringings. I've interacted with enough people to know, okay, this is the cue. I'm going to go for it. We'll see what happens. We'll test the water. We might say shit underneath our breath.
Yeah.
See if they're like, oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. Right? So, like, that, like, I understand, and I'm well-spoken, and I'm not afraid to say what I need to say. Again, privileged, because my friends encouraged that. All throughout middle school, all throughout high school, all throughout elementary school, people said I was the shit, and and they commended me for my ability to be confident and not care, right? That wouldn't happen. That this me wouldn't happen if they didn't say, every time I did something outlandish like that, like going into a conversation hot, if I didn't get those laughs, if they didn't say that I was funny, right, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But every time I did something, they were like, yeah, keep doing it, right? So that's how class clowns are made, right? Or how the for lack of a better term, antisocial people are made, right? They were discouraged from speaking, right?
Has that ever led to anybody taking it very badly and maybe like a physical altercation?
No. Funny you say that, because this weekend, I was a beginner, so I almost slid into someone, so he had to stop hard, and I had to stop hard, and his girlfriend ran into him slightly, and she got a little hurt. She said it fucking hurt. But like, not like, you know how you like land on your hand and it's like, fuck, that hurt.
Yeah.
But not like something like seriously hurt.
Yeah.
So I said, hey man, I'm sorry, dude. Sorry for that. Like, I'm a beginner. Like, and he was like, your sorry doesn't mean shit. And I was like, okay, so the social cue that I got is I looked at him. He was a taller, probably 6'4", 6'2" guy, skinny though, like 150 pounds. But 6'2", 150 pounds is like super skinny. So super skinny, looked like a skater dude. He said, your sorry doesn't mean shit, very quietly. So I pegged him, beta male, fuck you.
Got you.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. Take my sorry and shove it. Get out of my face.
Ooh.
Right? And he didn't do shit because I got those cues.
Yeah.
Right? I could have, that was a risk.
Yeah,
of course.
definitely.
Definitely a risk, because he's taller than me and could probably squish me. Right?
Yeah.
Easy. But I took some social cues that I've learned and I applied it, and I kind of just said it sternly, looked him in the eye saying it, and I walked away.
I love it.
Right? I regret not saying I'm sorry to his girlfriend, because she's the one that got hurt. I regret, but the heat of the moment, I wasn't thinking about that.
Definitely.
But in hindsight, I would have done it. Now, next time, if that were to happen again, I would apologize to the other person. But has my personality gotten to a physical altercation? No, because I'm not dumb. That example was, I pegged this guy as a beta male. That's a meme term.
Yeah.
I don't mean it like seriously, but as a meme, he looked like a beta male, and I was like, I could get away with this. But and the situation, right? He's bound to his snowboard, right? He's on the floor, he's flustered.
Yeah.
Right. I'm picking up all of these things, and I'm acting accordingly. But if I were standing in like a parking lot and he's like, his reach, like close to my face, like, I probably wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But I would say something lighter, like not fuck you, because that's like, those are fighting words.
Yeah.
Right. But it depends. Like, but to answer your question, no, because I'm not dumb.
Got you. But you're aware of it though.
I'm totally aware. I'm
good.
I'm well aware of my size. I'm well aware of my capabilities, and I'm not a fighter.
Yeah.
Right. I know if I had to get in a fight, I would kick someone's knee out really hard and
just
run
grab
away.
the balls, bro. Just,
dude,
reach in and
just
grab
reach
the
in, grab the ball.
nutsack.
That's too close.
And then you
That's
gotta
too
just
close.
scream like
Yeah.
Bruce Lee, just in the air. That dude will freak out, bro. I'm telling you, you just gotta wash your hands after. That's about that's about it. But I feel you, dude. I mean, I just say that because it's bound to happen one day
sure.
that
Absolutely.
you're gonna have an interaction with
misread,
somebody. You misread it completely wrong, and most people are gonna just not say anything, but in their head and be like, "Oh, what's up with this dude?" But there could be that one person. But as long as you can read those signs, and a lot of people can't read those things, you know, especially somebody that is more loud and on the more outgoing side of things. It's not very common where they're present in their understanding of what they're doing as you are. You know, a lot of people will just say something and in their head they don't connect that, maybe this person is not the person to say those things to.
Absolutely. But also, just so we know, I avoid those situations.
Yeah.
I avoid them.
Definitely.
Right. That interaction between that guy on the slope was like hasn't happened in a very long time. Right?
It happens though.
It happens. But like I avoid those situations as much as possible, and I'm not very good at it. I'm practicing, but I'm like okay at negotiating, right? So if it elevates, I negotiate down.
Got you.
Right? Because I know my tool is my voice, my conviction, and the way that I deliver it, and the way that I sound. I work to that. Yeah. So like I use my voice. I don't use my fists because I can't.
Got you.
Right.
I can relate to that, and I totally understand that I have that other part of me that I really need to control. But when instances are happening so quick like that, sometimes I just gotta grab myself in the brain and be like, "Yo, chill,
back up,
chill the fuck out for a sec," you know. But just hope it never gets to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope not to. That's why I avoid it.
Yeah,
that's why I avoid it. But that situation had like it just worked.
I mean that dude, I understand it. He was upset because it's his girl, but I mean, accidents are accidents, dude. And if you didn't approach it that way, if you were like, if you didn't say anything, dude, that takes me from 0 to 10. Quickly. Anybody that I feel is disrespecting me, that's the person that chill inside. You know, this dude didn't know, but for you to be respectful about it and for him to not take your apology or it's all right, dude. You know, that changes things so quickly. Like I was watching a video on WorldStar, and you know, you see those videos all the time where a bike is riding and the car pulls out and they crash or almost crash and just the tempers are flaring. But this instance happened and the car pulled out and didn't see the motorcycle. He pulls to the side and he comes out. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, man." And both of them were almost emotional because they were at the level like, "I didn't mean to do that. I'm so sorry," you know. And of course the biker is feeling like, "Yo, you should have been watching where the fuck you're going," you know. But for him to just see that person and see how they felt in their eyes, you know, like, dude, this dude, he almost killed me, but he knows that he almost killed me and he didn't try to. Like, there's a lot of value I agree with in that too.
Yeah, like that's kind of what set me off, right? Like I was very apologetic as soon as it happened. Very apologetic. Like saying it to both of them, like in general, and for him to just look me in the eye and say, "Doesn't mean shit, dude." I was like, you know what?
Whatever, fuck you then.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Snow bitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Right? Like you should have been fucking looking where you're going, because you know I'm just like trying to. I'm coming at this wall. And I'm like, I need to stop before this wall. That's all I can. I can't see anything. I have no peripheral vision.
Tell your bitch to snowboard better. Get out of the way. No, but that's how things escalate a lot quicker. So let's go back to 2015, man. Sure. What did life look like for you back in 2015, and what does it look like now?
I don't know. I'm not very good at looking back, particularly because I think nothing really exciting happened. I was just, again, lazy or some shit. But I do remember, I don't know if it was 2015, but I do remember looking at your hardware. I was trying to find hardware for my for my kit. Yeah, for my Rally Backer kit. Funny story how I got Rally Backer to help me out. Yeah. I was just like, I really like this kit. So I DM'd someone that had it, and it was a distributor.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, hey man, I'd like that shit. I like your kit. Yeah. Where'd you get it? And he was like, "Oh, I'm a distributor." And he was like, "Oh, do you want to work together?" And I'm like, "Sure, hell yeah, send it." And then we worked out how to do it, and now I got my Rally Backer kit on my BRZ. And then I was looking for hardware, and I was just looking at beauty hardware. I didn't know it was called beauty hardware. Yeah. Okay, I was like, hardware for body kits. And then I ended up on beauty hardware, and I clicked on yours, and I'm like, shit, that's sick. Yeah. But the reason why I didn't get it is because you were sold out on the or you didn't. I don't know if you're sold out or you just didn't have it. The multicolor, like the colored, like not the volcano one, but like the
low profile.
The low profile, like just a little bevel. Yeah. You were out of the. I tried to get black, I think, and you only had silver. So I was like, shit. I'll find something else. And then, I don't know, years later, Eric tells us about you, and I don't know how the conversation started, but you're like, "Hey, man, let's get some Downstar on your car."
Yeah, I actually ended up. I saw the order come in from TJ, and I had somebody DM me, and he's like, "Oh, congratulations for being on TJ Hunt," and I'm like, "Oh, what's that?" So this was very early. This was actually, I was looking at the date. That video got released the 27th of January 2017. So it was around then.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't know, but my idea towards YouTubers isn't the same as most people my age. I was very accepting of it. So when I checked out the channel, I could see it was something serious. So I knew that there was a lot of value in that he provided to me for free, because he bought the stuff. He didn't even ask me for it. So I reached out to him and said, "Hey, you need anything else from here on, just let me know." And then dude, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Ever since then.
It's crazy. Like, I was like, when TJ, when you sent that to TJ, and he was like, "Hey, we got Downstar as a helping hand, as a partner," right? I was like, "Fuck, what the fuck? What the fuck?" I was looking at that shit. I was looking at that shit. This is the shit I was looking at.
It's crazy how it works,
crazy.
dude.
Small world, dude.
And it's, if you don't put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, like just cold calling a customer, like, it wouldn't be here. I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know TJ. I wouldn't know Mickey.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know Eric. It would just be a totally different universe that I'm not involved in, and I'm sure I would be aware of it as of now, because I always try to keep my ear to the streets,
Sure.
all the time. But it's just, sometimes you just got to put yourself in that uncomfortable situation.
I love how you say that.
And either they could be douchebags, or they could be fucking cool people.
But you'll never know.
You'll never know.
Right.
And we're it's about 3 years since we've been working together, and it's cool, man. I love to see your guys' growth. Thank you. It's exciting. It's exciting that the guys your age are able to take this lane and just develop it so quickly.
So great. It's so much fun, for sure.
So let's get into that a little bit.
The business memes. I have that written down. I love that shit.
How do you guys feel, or how do you feel the older enthusiasts, and how do you feel like you're received, and do you feel like there's any where's the disconnect at?
Okay. So I don't like cars. Okay, let's get that straight. I don't like other people. Like, I don't like car meets. I don't like that shit. I think it's, you go to one car meet, you go to all of them, right?
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, the community is beautiful. Like, that Carlsbad community before the Cars and Coffee there, before it got shut down, was a beautiful community. We were all hanging out, and I cherish those days. But to answer your question, TJ and I have always been of the mentality, we're here because we all like cars. We don't care your build. We have our opinions on your build, but we don't care about your build. Or, I mean, we don't care what you do about your build, right?
Yeah.
If you want to do a slam van, a Lolo, donks, right?
Hell yeah.
Right? I don't, or like a clean JDM car. I don't care,
yeah.
right? It's because the thing that TJ and I agree most is, it's the process of enjoying your car, right, with your community, right? Of course, I don't like certain styles. Like, I couldn't own a 69 car, or like a 20s car. Maybe a 20s car, those are cool. But like a really old car, like those into like Bel Airs, I can't get into that. But I respect it. I respect it wholly, right? You love that shit, right? And when someone asks me, I'm like, "Hey, dude, you just whatever, do whatever you like. What should you do?" I'm like, "I don't know. Do whatever you want," right? Because only you will know what you like. So the disconnect is with the people, right? With the people that are entitled to their group. So with the Carlsbad thing, the Porsche guys, the 997s, the Porsche guys were always, not all of them, but some of them were snobs about their Porsches, and they wouldn't talk to anyone else. That we don't just subscribe to. But the people, the disconnect is like the people who don't see it as the passion, they see it as their car and their group. And that's just like a shitty thing with humans, and that we can't really deal with. But we cultivate the people, and that's how we did well in the beginning, right? That was our ideology. Like, you like that, we like that too. We like that you worked on your car. We spent our time working on our cars. You spent your time working on your car. We respect that. Period. Right. With the shit posters in the comment section, we kind of just don't deal with those people. They get shadow banned swiftly because we don't need that in the community, right? We need people that are more about the experience again, not the end result, right? You could drive your Civic and have it scrape every time you like hit a dip, right? Well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't fucking do that.
Yeah.
But, dude, hell yeah. Spend your time on it. You love that shit. Do it.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we respect. What have you noticed?
Me being, in my mid-30s, knowing a lot of older enthusiasts, it seems like it's a really hard subject for them to grasp, to take like quote-unquote YouTubers seriously.
Oh, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We get that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, unlike you were like, oh shit, that's going to be big. We should be wary.
Yeah.
Right. So first 3 years of SEMA, everyone like brushed us off.
Yeah.
Right. Even with like 300, 500,000 subscribers, brushed off.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely ridiculous. But that's why McGuire's and who else? Valvoline, and there's another one, but like other people are like AccuAir or Universal Air or Downstar or I don't remember. There's a lot. Well, Brembo. Yeah. Recently. HRE. Right. There's these people that we saw at SEMA, and they were just like, no. Like, even I don't think he approached AccuAir, but I remember going to AccuAir and seeing their new shit, and then 2 years later we have systems and we're building cool shit with them. That's humbling. Right? Humbling that some HRE as well, right? But there's like Sabon in them. I guess I shouldn't be naming it. I don't think it was Sabon. It was other people, right? Other brands we approached, and they just brushed us off, and it was kind of funny because 2 years later we come back and now they're approaching TJ out of their time, and we all just laugh and like, good thing TJ's a understanding dude and a nice guy and doesn't take that shit too seriously, right? Because if he did, all of these people would be like out of luck, right? It would be bad, right? But he understood that YouTube was something new and people didn't really understand it, but now people are starting to understand it. And TJ, with patience and cunning, he's at the forefront, I think. I don't think anyone else has done as much as TJ in the car community with these big brands, and I'm proud of him for that.
Yeah. I mean, the only person I could think of is RJ. RJ is a legend. Yeah. RJ DeVera.
Is he a YouTuber?
No, he works for McGuire.
Oh, RJ.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I love RJ. He's my dude.
Yeah, we were actually just we were having dinner at in Japan when we were in Japan.
Oh, hell yeah.
We were just talking about like the past and everything, and when he talks about the things that he's done, I'm like, wow, bro.
I love hearing him.
It's second to none. The things that he's done is just it's crazy what one person can do for the community,
Yeah, RJ did a lot, and he's a smart dude. That's why I want to talk to him as well.
Great guy, man.
Great guy.
One
of these days.
Yeah, I see that disconnect to so many people, and for me, like I said, I always keep my ear to the streets. I always know what's going on, whether it's in YouTube or it's in another streaming platform, or it's just in the Honda community. I know who the movers and shakers are. I know who the guys that are coming up, and I know who the ones that are people that I would want to work with and people that I want to avoid. But I feel like I'm the minority of it.
Sure.
Business owners my age, they really don't see the value in it because they come from a different world.
Oh, absolutely. And that's comfort and fear.
When we were your guys' age, life was totally different.
Absolutely.
We were on MySpace.
Yeah, no,
and nobody really ever thought to take MySpace or even Facebook at its infancy to a business level.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Instagram was, marinating for a couple years that people thought like, whoa, this could be a business thing. And as soon as I was on it, that okay, I'm going to have one for me, and then I'm going to have one for Downstar.
Sure.
And the Downstar one is going to be now our new platform to be able to show our new products or whatever we got going on. And how do you feel connecting that bridge? What kind of things do you guys do to make these the older people understand the new age of how things are now?
Okay, so how I would go about it. But to answer your earlier question, we don't take it personally.
Got you.
We don't take it personally. It doesn't matter. Eventually they'll learn. Is the hope. But the way I would teach, I can't speak on TJ's behalf, but the way that I would teach it is like putting it analogously, right? So a billboard, you pay several $1,000s to put your ad on a billboard. What do you get? Let's say you get 100 cars an hour or 1,000 cars an hour, just for the sake of numbers. So 1,000 cars an hour for 20 hours of the day, or 20 hours. So 20,000 views, 20,000 views on random ass people that don't give a shit most of the time. So you get, for several $1,000s, you get one or two or like 100 people that care, right? And then one or two that will actually call, right? Whereas here on our social media platforms, let's say for me, Instagram, right? I get, for the sake of numbers, 40,000, not disclosing any real numbers, but 40,000 impressions every time I post about something, right? That's 40,000 people that care about exactly what I'm posting. Usually it's cars. Usually I post about my car. So 40,000 people, impressions of people who care about cars and are looking at car stuff. That's like super valuable, right? Like, who are you? You have the target audience. It's right there, and you just put something in front of it, and they'll see it, and it'll be arguably more effective than something like a billboard, right? Old, or like a newspaper, right? Those ads worked before because a lot of people are using it, but now a lot of people are on their phones. So it's like the biggest convincing you have to, or I would have to do, I guess, would be like if they are an older marketing manager, they see they see television ads, they see newspaper ads, they see billboard ads, they see bus stop ads, and they say that works. The biggest convincing you have to do is like, well, think about your father's ads, right? Let's say that was like a newspaper ad, right? But then you grew up and saw that it was a billboard ad. But you saw how old that was.
Yeah.
And you saw how new that was and how that could potentially be better. Well, here again, change your idea, if you will, right? The newspaper ad and goes to billboard, and then billboard goes to like social media platforms. And the driving point is it's instant and everyone can see it wherever they are at any time, whenever they want. That's valuable, I think, right? Because that billboard is in one place all the time, shown to the same people all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas if you pay for an ad on social media, it's literally zeros and ones randomly throwing out these ads.
Yeah.
At alarming rates. Crazy how many ads are being thrown out and how fast and easy it's distributable.
Yeah.
Distributable?
Sounds right.
Sounds right. But yeah, that would be the way that I convince it, right?
Now, how would you show them that translates to sales? Because some of the pushback that I've gotten from that is, yeah, they could have, hundreds of thousands of views, but who knows how many of those are potential buyers. Maybe it's a bunch of younger kids, because it is a younger demographic.
Yeah.
Possibly don't even own a car at this time, but enjoy cars as a hobby.
So convincing there, I would go about saying it like this, right? Just with the billboard ad, that works, right? You don't know this works. It's a risk.
Gotcha.
Right? You're going to have to take the risk if you want to take the risk. If you don't want to, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Right? But if they say yes, well, it doesn't really matter how old they are if they can't afford it now. If you're thinking short term, I think you're failing.
Yeah.
Because when I was 18, when I was 16, I was looking at Downstar. I was looking at Sabon. I was looking at AccuAir. I can't afford it now, but if you cultivate me into your brand,
yeah,
you have a customer. Like, I think I was talking to Richard. I don't know if I should say where he's from, but I was talking to Richard, and Richard told me that, yeah, we're gonna start buying like the cheaper alternative now, right? We're gonna buy a cheaper alternative, but we always want that AccuAir. We can do like a hodgepodge system, like a random tank, random bags, random whatever. But since we were cultivated and nurtured and not discouraged, mostly not discouraged, right? Like that teenager that walks up to you in SEMA, you should interact with them because they're going to buy your shit. Yeah. They're already looking at it. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
They can't afford it, but they're going to buy your shit and tell everyone else to buy your shit, right? So I always wanted AccuAir. Doesn't matter what I did before then.
Yeah.
I was going to get AccuAir.
It's steps to get to
right?
There. Yeah, I understand.
So, like, it's important to market to the kids that can't afford it because that's a long time relationship, right? If you're thinking short term, I want sales now, then you have to go somewhere else, right? My demographic is between the ages of, I want to say like 16 to like 30, right? So you market to my younger 20-year-olds. You market to me, right? But when they become 30, you have a wave of customers, like waves of because when you invest in me and my brand, right? They may be young now, right? But if you've captivated 1,000 people, that wave will hit you when they grow older. They're growing with me, and they're going to associate your brand with me. Yeah. If you want to invest in that, you're creating brand association with me, and that's important. I think. Yeah. Right? Because let's say I associate myself with, for random example, memes, right? Pepe's, like the Pepe meme. Yeah. People will start using Pepe memes, right? But if they don't have it yet, if they can't afford the part yet, they still know that I'm associated with the Pepe meme. So when they can get it, you got a wave of customers coming. Yeah.
I mean, I totally get it.
Sure.
Going to the Fender Flare hardware, before we teamed up with you guys, it would sell, but it was a hard sell for me because people didn't see the value in it. You know, it's so easy just to put just a regular bolt in there or even a rivet or what we'd see at SEMA all the time is like wood screws. you know?
Oh, man.
And it's just like, this is a Lamborghini. Why are you using wood screws on?
Bro.
So it took a while, but after we teamed up, and then you just working together and you know, getting the awareness out, that's like one of our best sellers. And it's not that the product changed. The product's the same exact as it has been before, but it got me the right eyes to the right demographic and to the right people. And that's the thing that I try to explain to these guys. I think that one thing that really bothers them is these emails that they get from other channels and other YouTubers who's they have a way less humble approach to it.
Yeah.
And
it does dirty the water.
Even with me as well, I have a lot of people that will say, yo, I have 30,000 subs. Like, can you sponsor me?
Okay.
The one thing with Downstar is like we really don't sponsor. Like, we don't have a sponsor program where you email us and we work together. And like I said, I keep my eye to the street, so I see who the guys are that are putting on for these companies, who they're not sponsored by, and posting things up, and you know, they're hustling for it. So I work with these guys early on because I see
the hustle,
what they're gonna be, and I see the hustle.
So my point to that would be that email is a poor resume. They're uneducated. These people that are emailing you about this sort of thing don't know what they're doing, right? And I understand it dirties the water, and I understand that though they're ignorant, it doesn't mean it's not annoying.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's a call to action to the up and coming influencers or whatever they're trying to build, right? If it's a business and they're trying to work together, right? You need a good resume. You need a good impression, right? So I watched a 2-hour-long video on how to write a resume, and it's very interesting. So it depends how you approach it, right? If you just say, "Can you sponsor me?" That's kind of sour and it doesn't feel good, right? But my call to action to those who are receiving those, I say, don't let that. You need to see each of these people as individuals, right? This is not YouTube. They're a YouTuber, but it's not YouTube.
Yeah,
it's like going down the street. You're in, like, what's a popular, like, plaza here?
I don't know, the Collection.
The Collection, okay? Yeah. You go to the Collection. You're not associating that Panda Express as the Collection.
Yeah.
That's Panda Express.
Yeah.
Right? So same thing with YouTube. That's X channel and that's Y channel. Those are two separate entities, right? The problem, I guess, is the disconnect of YouTube doesn't hire these people. These are people utilizing a video platform, like, and people have different approach, right? So you get a resume, and if they poorly write it, then if they poorly write it, then you just throw the resume away. It's the same thing, right? It's an email. It's just, it's not as professional, or you don't disassociate the individual, but you have to. Like, I get a bunch of emails as well, like, can I join the team? If they say, if they don't say anything nice, then I'm like, I appreciate the offer. Thank you for your time, but I'm not looking for someone. But if someone shows, like you said, great passion, shows that they're willing to learn, right? I'll be like, damn, I like that. I see your hustle. I see your passion, and I want to invest time in that. I want to invest money and time in that. Yeah. I just can't afford it right now. I wish I could. I wish I had the 100 million. Cause I'd be go get it. Yeah. Right? I don't care. Right. So it's just, I know it's annoying, but it needs to be treated like a resume application.
Got you.
Right? Like, I feel like it's just a new way. Like, email is not that new, but it's definitely the new way. Or DMs. I used to think DMs are a form of communication between fans, but there's a serious business application in DMs, and I love how they switched it from primary to general. Yeah, right. That's really good. So it's ignorant of the receiver to think that these are just this is one entity. This is like a group when it's actually actual business, like resume, right? Like I think I wish I could convey that well enough, but like
I mean, maybe that could be a topic for a complete video.
Oh shit.
You know?
Oh shit, you're right.
Because I mean, I have this conversation all the time, and I've had this conversation, you know, even when we were in Japan last week. You know, I've had these conversations with some of my friends, and the disconnect is real. Because you have to see it from their point of view. When they started out, this whole industry that we're in, it was just blossoming. It's
Absolutely.
just growing.
It still is.
Yeah, and younger guys as yourself, you came in at an extremely great time.
Absolutely.
And that's not at your fault. And the people that are still in it, the older guys, that doesn't mean that they're counted out.
Absolutely not.
Hence, Mickey with Throttle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Mickey's 42. He's been in the industry for 15, 20 years? And he's killing it in that new space, in that new platform.
Absolutely.
Because he gets it.
He believes.
It's not my job to make them get it as much as I can do.
Same.
Look out for them and just say, yo, this is kind of a ship that you're missing right now. Yeah. And your stubbornness is going to cost you in the long run.
That's what I'm saying. So I agree with that wholly. I don't mean to cut you off, but like, it's like, okay, you don't get it. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to be me. I'm going to say, thank you for your time. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. But in my head, I'm like, you're missing it. This is actually going to cost you more now. Yeah. Because I'm only getting bigger, right? My call to action and my impressions will only cost more from this point on, right? And then when they come back and they realize I offered them X, they'll be like, shit, we should have took that deal. Yeah. And then they'll find, I mean, of course, there's a lot of individuals that will sponsor, will do it for whatever they ask for. But I hope, like, everyone out there that's aspiring to be an influencer or run a business, period, find out your worth. Mm-hmm. Stop being lazy. Find out your worth. We need to create a higher standard for our profession. Yeah. Because they spend buku bucks on television ads. Yeah. They should be spending buku bucks on us.
And I think what a problem is as well is these companies who do realize that YouTube is an up and coming platform, and they just sponsor anybody and everybody, which dilutes it all and makes these guys think, well, if I just reach out to this company one email the same way I reached out to you, then why aren't you giving me stuff for free? This company did.
Yeah, it's really hard because there's no guide or like a how-to of how to do this business. Yeah. Because it really is variable, like super variable. Like a channel of TJ size versus a channel of Mr. Beast size, or David Dobrik, or me at 66,000, right? Or my brother at 100, right? It is so variable that it's easy to be lazy and allow it to blanket. Yeah. Which dilutes everybody, right? That's why those who understand need to spread the word. I watch a channel. He's a live streamer, but he puts it on YouTube. Devin Nash. He does a beautiful job of creating that Chinese menu, right? Of what you need, because big companies do this. Big companies, like established businesses that are billion-dollar companies, do that. Yeah. Right. You have a Chinese menu. What do you want? This is what you're going to get for that. Right. People need to figure out their worth, and just a few tips. Right. So let's say your a call to action. Hey, I'm Frank. This is my hardware. Fucking buy it. That call to action, let's say that makes $10,000. Right. That's how much you're worth at least. Right. Because why would you sell someone else's shit if your shit will make you that much already? Yeah. Right? So, like, if your call to action is worth 10 grand because you made yourself 10 grand selling your own stuff, why would you take a brand deal that would give you $500?
Yeah.
That's actually like uneducated and not smart. I was going to say something else, but I didn't want to discourage people.
Yeah.
Right. But seriously, like you need to figure out like your minimum time worth, right? So like, let's say for me, I make, we're just going to use small numbers so that it doesn't sound, or like just small numbers so that it's easier for maths.
Yeah.
So like I stream for an hour. If I stream for like 10 hours and I make $100, then an hour of my time is $10.
Yeah.
That's how much I'm worth, right? So you ask me to be somewhere for a whole day. Well, if I were to stream that day, how much would I make? That's simple.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
You need to be paid a little more than that because of the time you're going to be away from your stream.
Yeah.
Right. Or if you're like, I don't remember if you guys look up Devin Nash, worth or something, it'll tell you, he explains like how best to go about it. Right. And I haven't done it yet. And I've been approached by a few sponsors that I want to throw this at them, and I'm not going to back down, right? I think I'm going to try and hold myself to a higher standard than most people, right? Because there's this YouTuber, it's crazy. He made 1.3 mil off of AdSense alone last year, 2019. Guess how much he made out of sponsored ads? $50,000. If you're making $1 million of your own stuff and someone is not giving you $1 million,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Right? Your channel is worth 1 milli, and if someone gives you $500 for an ad, that's ludicrous. That's actually crazy. It doesn't have to be $1 million ad.
Yeah.
Sure, right? You could calculate it for the month, but there's an importance to holding your brand to a high standard, right? I'm willing to turn down people, right? I want to do that. I want to say no because I'm worth more.
Yeah.
And I'd rather invest that time and money that I would have gotten from that into something of myself, right? Like my clothing brand or
Gotcha.
fulfillment center, right? There's no one better to invest in than yourself if anyone's going into venture capitalism, right? Make your million on your own and understand how you did it, and then spend your million on someone else. But it blows my mind. It's like I guess I want to do the content. That'd be crazy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But the content of teaching people like how to figure out what you're worth and holding yourself to a higher standard and understanding it's okay to say no. I read Mark Cuban's little book. I have it in the car, and he said no. Like no is good, right? Because you only need one good yes, right, to make it. He sold his yes for $3 billion, right? So, and it just takes time, and that's to get into a little bit in the philosophy. That's the problem with social media, right? How instant gratification is important to people, but things take time. That's why I have a 5-year plan. That's why I have a 10-year plan, 20, 30-year plan. I don't expect to make 100 million in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. It's unlikely, but I don't expect to be uber successful until I put in the work. And to put in the work is to hold yourself to a high standard because of how much work you're putting into things.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, what made you want to focus on Twitch rather than on YouTube?
Laziness. That's what I wanted. I wanted to turn on a stream and just play video games. But I've realized that's wrong. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that anymore. So, but I do like live streaming. So I do enjoy live streaming, and I don't like editing. So, and I don't like editing for the editing reason, not because I'm lazy. There's a little bit of I don't want to learn how to edit, but I just know that's my weakness. I'm not going to try to do something that I can't do. I've learned that, right? It's better to know your weaknesses and play to your strengths, right? Of course, I'd love to edit like a passion project, like a music video or something like that, but that would take like a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing it like I fix my car, right? It takes a lot of time, but I like it.
So what are you doing to combat your laziness? What is that conversation like in your head?
Oh, I can't believe we haven't talked about that. So all of the motivational stuff and inspirational stuff that I've been watching has been really good to put me in a good mental space. So my mental headspace is success and success for others, as you can probably tell from the podcast so far, right? But for me, the mental battle in my head is one that hits home. I have a medical background, right? And because my parents are both nurses and my mom's also a doctor. So I have a medical background. What motivates me is understanding how my body works and really like my exercise. So I really enjoy the idea that I'm feeding my body well with exercise and stimulation and good food, right? I enjoy that a lot. I know I'm going to be sexy as fuck in the future. I'm going to be so sexy. But that doesn't drive me. If that drives you, that's fine, right? That's totally fine, right? That's what drove my brother. Like, he looks really good, right? He's so much bigger than me. You'd think he'd be the older brother, but for me, I found comfort in knowing that I'm doing something proper for my body. I watched a lot of videos on. There's a video on Veritasium talking about how to reverse aging or slow it down, right? To slow it down, you have to do things that don't trigger DNA repair, right? DNA construction. So that video explains it, but I'm just so happy knowing that I'm doing something that I like, which is taking care of the chemistry that is our fucking existence, right? I think brain chemistry, body chemistry, and how all these random chemicals are just giving us life, right? And I love the idea that I'm feeding that properly. I love feeding it exercise. I love feeding it good food, right? Sometimes I eat like shit, but what am I gonna do? I love that, right? But it's more so the conversation in my head is you're doing something that's really good. Again, it's different for a lot of people, but if you resonate with that, I'm glad that I was able to say it to whoever's listening, right? As for business stuff, it's as simple as playing video games. I played Assassin's Creed 1, 2, all of 2, the trilogy of 2. I played 3, I played Unity, I played Black Flag, I played all of them. But all of them had something in common. You need currency in the game to buy equipment, but you could buy stores. You could buy stores, upgrade the stores, and you leave your PlayStation on, and it makes you money. You come back to your hub, and you take the money, and you buy another store. You keep doing that. And in my head, I'm like, yo, I love that. I love that interaction of buying stores, letting it work, collecting, and reinvesting, and doing it all over again. I love that idea, and I just put it together. Of course, in real life, there's LLCs, there's resellers' licenses, there's actual fucking money, there's actual people, right? There's actual work that needs to be done, right? There's actual facilities that need to be paid for. But it's as simple as that, right? It's as simple. If you have the know-how and can manage, I know I'm a leader. I do it, right? So I'm of that mindset, and I'm ready to tackle it. I'm ready to fail, scale back, do it again, right? But that always made me happy that I was I'd never really finished buying the equipment. I just finished buying all the stores, right? I love that more than buying the equipment to beat the game, because I could beat the game with the starting equipment. It's just cool to collect stuff. But that idea of that economy put a smile on my face, and I would wake up every morning. I would diligently put timers. Okay, it fills up after 12 hours. Timers. 12 hour on the dot, I collect, turn off the TV again, leave the PS4, come back, collect, do it again, right? And I'm ready for that managing in real life.
So do you feel like you've always felt like this, but that feeling just got reinvigorated, or you just found it again?
So again, my pragmatism and my relationship were in the way, for the lack of a better term, right? My pragmatism nurtured fear of, oh, I'm actually spending money. And if I fuck myself, I fuck myself IRL. And then my relationship was focusing a lot of time on that, right? And learning how to better deal with my time, right? But once I left the relationship, I was given emotion, and I was given time, and I was given like a reimagining of seeing things, a new way of seeing things. And that really, really cooks in my head. Like, I'm always wanting to do something now, right? Whether it's spending time learning how to do something business-wise, or spending time actually doing it and then talking to people who know how to do it. Those interactions between myself and other people are just fun, period. I don't think of it as a chore. I love opening my email. I used to love, so at one point I managed the Hunt & Company website. Like, I built the site a little bit and put products in places, and I did emails. I enjoyed that, right? So I just started piecing things together, right? I started realizing what I was doing, what I've done, how similar things are, and now I'm just doing it for myself. And it feels good, man. Like,
Dude, it sounds like you're on a good path, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're going to have an exciting year.
I will.
For sure.
For sure.
Especially how much you understand the value of time. When you actually understand the value of time and how much impact that you have on your own life in one day.
In one day. Oh my God, there's so much time.
There's so much things that you can do. And a lot of people never find that. I always like to say that time is the only currency that you really have. And I like to break it down like this. Say you make $10 an hour, right? And you work a day, that's $80 that you made in that day. Now, when you get out of work, and maybe you'll go hang out with some friends who aren't the best of friends, or,
Sure.
hang out with your girl and you guys are fighting or what have you. Say if it's 3 days or 3 hours in your day, you've given them literally $30 of your time to not even make you feel good. So that's where you invested your time at, with these people that don't bring any positivity towards you, that don't bring you up, that don't give you new ideas, rather than they pick on you, laugh at your car, and you feel like you're a part of something just because now you're with a group of guys. And I know that you have a lot of younger followers, and I know a lot of them are probably going through that at this very moment.
Sure.
Still trying to figure out who they are as a person, trying to fit in wherever they fit in, and not realizing the value of their actual time. Realizing that, if I spend time with these people, that's time that I could have spent working or working towards my goal, whatever it could be. And when I understood that changed my life dramatically. it was so easy to cut people out of my life.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
That's a huge step, because that's scary.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, you think like, wow, these people have been around forever. I've known them since I was a kid,
and that holds weight. That holds serious weight.
But it doesn't really mean anything.
Exactly.
Because if these people aren't trying to better you, you should be changing all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Progressing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they're not progressing at the same speed, at the same level you are, no matter money, business, anything, followers, anything like that, if their mind capacity is not changing, if you guys aren't talking about what are you doing, what plans do you have, what can we do, if you're not having genuine fun and great interactions, and you're just giving away your time for free, you might as well go to work for free. Because you're not, maybe everybody's job isn't so bad, but a lot of the interactions I used to have made me feel bad at the end of the day. And you know,
kick that, no, for sure.
And I paid these people with my time to make me feel like that.
Exactly.
Even in relationships, if you're together for a year and a half, whatever. Add up all that money from all those hours, and you've given that person this much of your time, which is valued at whatever, $10 an hour or whatever you think it is. And now people, if they make that much an hour, that's what your time is worth. And if you want your time to be worth more, you have to take those extra steps. Gaining knowledge, you know.
You have to work, dude.
Work.
It's a lot of fun. I'm telling everyone here, it's scary, but it's a lot of fun. But it's just work.
Yeah. And it's just having conversations like this, understanding from a different perspective.
Absolutely.
Because I never had deep conversations like this in the past. You know, a lot of the conversations I would have were very surface and talking about, you know, drama and problems and negativity.
Oh yeah, no, I hate. You just triggered me, bro. I call those people potatoes.
Potatoes.
Why
is that?
Potato, as in like, we're. Oh God. I'm gonna say aliases here, okay? So, Steve was dating a girl, Karen, and Karen, sexy as fuck. Let's just say that. I didn't think so, but to Steve, great women. But every time they talked, it was all about a sorority. Her sorority. Her life is as a sorority. Nothing that interests her, no ambition. And like she has no interest other than hanging out with her friends and partying. And I told Steve, yo, this girl's a potato.
Yeah.
You try to converse with her and there's literally starch. Straight starch.
She could be good mashed potatoes for sure.
Yeah, but there's no substance, right? There's no substance, like, and I'm not saying like if you're a potato that this like you're fucked. Yeah. Right? Right now, make the change. Don't be a potato. Like guys or girls or every gradient in between, right? If you're a person and you have no ambition and you're kind of just like stagnant, it's hard to not consider you a potato.
Yeah.
Right. But I haven't seen Karen in a while, but Steve is doing well.
Good. Shout out to Steve. Speaking of partying, have you went through that phase of your life yet?
I never really was into partying.
Really?
So I'm already a handful and an asshole, not drunk.
Yeah.
But when I am, it gets hectic.
Really?
And I'm about the same. So an example is we were in Vegas for SEMA, and we went out with the company and a bunch of our friends. I got lit for sure, but we had a friend there that doesn't drink because he's allergic. He actually like could get hurt drinking. a substantial amount. So I, at the end of the night, asked him, how was I? He's like, oh, you're about the same. You dance like an idiot. You scream really loud, but you already do that. So I don't see alcohol as any way of helping me, more so as a social tool. Like if we're playing games, I want to be a part of the game. Or if someone wants to have a drink and I'm feeling up for a Moscow Mule because I like the taste, I'll sip on a Moscow Mule, right? Right. I'm already loose. I'm already me, because you get that when you first meet me.
Yeah.
So I see no point in it. As for partying, I party all the time, right? Every interaction I have is set for like entertainment. Like my goal is to entertain myself and whoever I'm talking to. My goal is to be the most interesting person in your life at that moment. And I think I pull that off well sometimes, right? Because I care about what people say, because I learn, because I care about things and I want to know about things. You know so much shit that I don't know. So I humble myself to learn what you have to teach me.
And likewise, man, it doesn't really matter age or circumstance or what have you. It's just I know everybody that I interact with has something that they can lend to me.
I love that
I can use. You know, it's very stubborn and egotistical to think that you know so much that nobody could ever help you. And when I run into people like that, I kind of feel sorry for them, man, because they've reached the pinnacle in their growth.
I'm like, congratulations, you did it. You're perfect.
You're where you want to be at. You know, even going back to the conversation about, you know, branching out with your marketing. Tell people, you know what, you're where you're at right now, and I congratulate you. But you could possibly be at a different step if you would look at things differently.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that my way is the right way.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I know for a fact the more knowledge that you have, the better you are off in the world. And if you're already in an amazing space, you have the possibility to take it even further.
Yeah.
But to each his own, man.
Yeah.
It's only like conversations like this where maybe it'll get into somebody's head and
hopefully.
And they can use that
towards
their life.
Yeah, man, it's just, that's why I love humans. That's why I love psychology and sociology. That's why I loved it. It's always random, and you never know what you're going to get. And it's just whatever ride you go on, it's going to be fun. Interesting if it gets heated.
Yeah. So let's talk about time travel.
Time travel?
What's your thoughts on time travel?
Okay. Not possible. Not possible, period.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, right? If you time travel and you're supposed to, like, you take a machine and you end up in the same point in space. Well, the Earth wasn't there however many years. The Earth moves, our universe moves really fucking fast. So I don't know how many meters per second, but imagine 2 years ago and you were to transport immediately to the spot, you would be in a different point in space versus relative to the Earth. And now you're in the vacuum of space and you're dead.
But what if that was worked
solved.
in? Yeah, if that's solved.
I don't know if I think time travel is messy. I do believe the one that I like the most is the multiple universes. I think that's string theory.
Parallel universe?
Yeah, parallel universes. So like when you make the most outlandish one that I love talking about is the every time you make a decision, I'm going to put the blue pants versus the red pants.
Yeah.
You just created two universes. I like that one because it's fun to think about. But I do think if it were time travel, it would be universe hopping.
Got you.
Right? You wouldn't be. You wouldn't go back in time. You'd just be in a different point in a different universe, right? Like I don't think I don't think you can go back in time. Because I do subscribe to the idea of the universe will find its way, right? So like, let's say you stopped someone's murder,
Yeah.
right? The universe will find its way to fix it. The person will die anyway.
Got you. Final Destination.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't like thinking of time travel because of how messy it can be.
Yeah. I think if there was a possibility, you can go back to that same exact time,
Yeah.
in 2005,
Yeah.
March 2nd at 5 p.m. Boom, you're there. But as soon as you land there in your body, in your consciousness,
okay.
with
I see.
with all your memories of right now, today,
Okay.
so 15 years
Okay.
of memories,
I like this.
your whole life from that point is a different universe now.
Yes.
Everything changes.
Yes.
Because everything that you do, making a left versus a right,
Yeah.
choosing red versus blue, everything changes.
Yeah.
And you split up in different
Yeah.
universes. So, I mean, it's very risky.
Yeah.
Because say there's things that have happened in this time, you have to say anything that happened after 2005, I'm willing to scrap it all.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely everything. Yeah.
Not only to me, not people I've met, not children that have been born, not relationships that have been, but every single thing
Is new.
I have an effect on
Yeah.
now. Because obviously you're probably going to progress at a different speed because you have different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You know things from the future, but it's not like you can just open the almanac and be
Yeah.
like, you know what?
Yeah.
The Dodgers won this
Yeah.
because now that you've interrupted it, everything has changed.
Everything's changed.
Yeah.
So, is a question: would I do it?
Would you?
I am what you consider save scum. So, like in video games, you could save checkpoint, and then if you die, you load checkpoint, you save scum all the way across. Right?
Yeah.
I do save scum, but given what I've learned so far, I don't think I would change it. I would if I were to go back in time, I'd probably go back, only a few years, not too far back.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe 1 year.
Got you.
Right. Because there's too much. There's too much that built me. There's too much that's happened and it's hard. It's easier for me to say since I'm only 24. Right.
Yeah.
If I was 50, I may be different. Right. And I'm sitting here saying what I'm saying, and I didn't learn it until then. Right. Maybe I would be there, but personally, someone of 24 years of age, I would only go back a year.
Yeah.
2.
I could probably do a couple weeks.
Couple
go back
weeks?
a couple
Really?
weeks. Yeah. Maybe bet on some game or something.
Okay, fair
It
enough.
would only be for
Not-
monetary gain.
Yeah, sure.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Just like a small cheat code.
Yeah.
But I feel like today is the best day of my life because I've experienced everything to this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally agree with that.
Fortunately, hasn't been anything extremely significant that's happened in my life yet that makes me think like if I could go back to May of 2005, everything would be better,
That's why when you asked me, can you think back to 2005? And I'm like, no, because I'm living it now. Like I don't know what I would want back then or what I was thinking, because right now is so enjoyable that I don't really think about that or really think about the future, right? I enjoy my present and what I'm doing now, and it's a lot of fun.
Now, one of the last podcasts that you and TJ did do was about lucid dreaming.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How big of a factor is that on you now? Are you still interested in that?
Oh, absolutely. So every time I close my eyes, it's a lucid dream. It's crazy. My memory, I can explain to you a dream that I had 4 years ago. And
really?
It's a memory. It's a memory now. My dreams are memories. Just like last weekend. I remember that because it was a lot of fun. Right? This memory is so buried in my brain that it's real at this point. It happened to me. Right? I think lucid dreaming is just something I do to not feel like I'm wasting my time sleeping. I don't feel like sleeping is a waste of time, right? Sleep is important, and I enjoy sleeping, right? But the movies that go on my head are pretty entertaining. So like, I think it makes it that more enjoyable, right?
Do you feel rested when you wake up?
Yes. Depends if it's like, of course I'm still affected by like how comfortable I am, because you need to be comfortable to sleep well. But lucid dreaming and out of body experiences have helped me sleep better and help me get better sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to go into that, I can talk about it for so long.
Let's just give a quick breakdown of it, and maybe some actions that people listening can do to maybe achieve that level of dreaming.
Okay. There's only one thing that you actually need to do, is to write it down. Right now, 99% of people, their dreams are stored in short-term memory. And short-term memory gets dumped every few hours. That's why you don't remember something you read unless you read it again. Mm-hmm. Same thing. You don't remember your dream unless you write it down and remember it again. So if you have a dream journal, there's something intimate about writing, right? Now, in this day and age, you could just type stuff out. But there's something really intimate about writing, right? And it helps you remember more, the motor action. So I recommend writing. You could type it out. I used to type it out. Works. Just might take a little longer. When you write down your dreams, you train your brain to put it into long-term memory. So when you wake up, you start to remember more bits. Mm-hmm. Right? You could start by remembering like, oh, I was wearing a watch, but then that watch becomes I pulled my arm away, or my watch had a weird face on it, right? Or what clothes you were wearing, the smells you were smelling, the feelings you were feeling. It grows really fast. Your brain's very good at transferring. Results are, if you want something that has quick results, learning how to lucid dream is pretty quick. You just write it down. You just try to remember. It doesn't take much effort. And you can start lucid dreaming pretty soon. The definition of lucid dream is a vivid dream of bright colors and fantastic emotions. Mm-hmm. Because when you sleep, your prefrontal cortex, the logic part of your brain, turns off, and the middle of your brain, I don't remember the name, wasn't very good at anatomy, mm-hmm. but the middle of your brain that controls emotion turns on, and your frontal cortex is not inhibiting it, so it's just straight emotion. So you'll notice when you start dreaming that your emotions are 10x: crying, anger, happiness, like joy, jealousy, 10x. Mm-hmm. And it's entertaining, to say the least, right? Because I wake up crying, I wake up really mad, I wake up, right, like it's just crazy emotion, because again, your brain shuts off the thing that controls logic. Advanced dreamers can turn that on, to control their dream, but that's a different topic. So tips are: find a comfortable position, start writing your dreams down. You need to be comfortable, or else your body's not going to fall asleep properly. And then out-of-body experience requires a whole bunch of steps, but it's a trippy experience.
Really?
Yeah. Usually out-of-body experiences are reported to be, or reported to occur when someone dies.
Yeah.
Like car accident, you see yourself from third person. People report that to be an act of God, right? I don't, because I experienced it without dying. Also,
don't they say that that's the cause of the release of the DMT in your body?
I don't know what DMT is.
There's a second person that said that, and this is the second time that I wasn't able to explain it.
I don't want to do it. Is it a neurotransmitter?
It's a chemical that is inside of your brain, and it's released at I think when you're dreaming.
Sure.
And it's actually found a lot in nature, and you can take it as a drug and like trip. And usually a lot of people, after they take it, they discover a lot of things about themselves. They actually change as a person. And yeah, you should look into it a little more, as will I. So when this comes up again, I can explain it a lot better. But that's a big thing from Joe Rogan. He always talks about DMTs and the effects of it. And have you ever looked into psychedelics or anything like that?
My brother is quite educated on it. And no, I don't look at drugs because it just don't have time. I find it fascinating. One of my other bigger philosophies is how people hold their perception so dearly when it can be manipulated so easily through chemistry. Right.
Do you ever smoke?
I've smoked weed. Yes. I don't like how it makes me feel.
Really?
It's all right. Like I don't hate it, and I won't turn it down like aggressively.
Well, I have some right here, Cal. No, I'm just kidding. If you do smoke a lot, it's kind of like a natural way to fall asleep, so you don't reach those levels of like REM sleep that you would normally.
Sure.
So if you smoke a lot and then you take a break, dude, your dreams come back like a fucking accident, dude. It's just boom. And those few days after you stop, your body's like detoxing, and you start dreaming at an extremely vivid level.
Oh, interesting.
It's super crazy, man. And I smoke pretty much every night, but actually I really enjoy taking breaks because of that.
Oh, sure.
Dude, some of the dreams that I have are super wild. And I wake up tired because I've just been busy doing rad shit in my dreams.
Sure, absolutely. No, I agree.
All night.
I did not know this. No.
Yeah,
that's one way. Sure.
It's pretty crazy, man. And now since you're so well with lucid dreaming and vivid memories, do you feel like when you have a dream and you have an experience inside of that dream, that you can actually take that experience or that lesson and use it in your real life circumstance?
Okay, so the hypothesis on dreams are like with humans trying to explain shit. It goes back to this idea of cavemen versus dinosaurs. Caveman has a dream about fighting a dinosaur. Caveman doesn't. They both end up fighting a dinosaur who's more equipped. The guy who had the dream, right? Like, that's the hypothesis. We have dreams to train us for situations, right? And sometimes to remind us of situations.
Yeah.
In my experience, but that doesn't mean anything at the moment. But I did have a dream one time. TJ and my brother and I went to Subi Fest, and the 5 freeway, you know that bit of I guess you don't, you're past, like way past it.
Yeah.
But there's a border crossing thing, and they were doing a stop, and we were in a convoy of like 40 BRZs, and fucking everyone stopped, and I broke really hard, and I saw the guy behind me. I was like, ooh,
yeah,
ooh,
almost
Monka S,
yeah,
right, really close, and the guy behind me wasn't gonna make it, but I saw him yeet into the what's it called?
The guardrail?
Not the guardrail. The safe area.
The lava. Let's just say lava.
Yeah, he yeets into the lava and misses my car and survives.
Yeah.
And I remembered that. And I had 2 subsequent dreams of me skirt out of the way.
Yeah.
And then after the second dream, 2 days later, it happened. I was coming up to this car way too fast, and I just went yeet. I'm like, holy shit, wait, what? I've never practiced this before.
Oh shit.
So that's the only one that I can remember. Usually my dreams are fantastic or deal with emotions. So, and I haven't found that my dreams have helped me with dealing with my emotions.
Yeah.
I think I have to be better in the waking world to do that. But a lot of the time the emotions are what I experience rather than that was like a freak thing and it was really cool. But I skirted out of the way of that car and it worked perfect.
Yeah, sometimes when I'll have like a cheating dream, like I feel like an extreme piece of shit afterwards, after the action in my dream. So that just lends more to me like never cheating.
Yeah,
ever.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, that works.
Not only for how I would feel, but just knowing how it made my wife feel inside of the dream.
Yeah.
When all of that came out, you know, that I learned from things like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's an emotional thing. Yeah.
That's nothing that I ever need to go through.
Yeah, you don't need to do it, but in your dream, it trains you for. That's the hypothesis, but it's helped me, and it seems like it helped you.
Yeah. I think a lot of things like that, such as dreaming, that people don't really get the entire value out of it. That's being put on the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's because I don't remember.
Yeah, as you know, talking about random things that maybe don't make sense, or you know, it's just parallel universes or random thoughts. You know, I see so much value in things like that, conspiracy theories.
Sure.
You know, that people don't see, and they'll laugh it off at first because it's just nonsense. Because why would the world be flat, or why is there an inner earth, or none of that makes sense? What about scientists? I'm like, dude, this is like an exercise.
Yeah, in a thought experiment.
Yeah, to get you thinking about things.
Question what you know, and it's important to question that. I think.
Question everything, man.
Yeah.
Question this right now. Yeah. Are you in my reality or am I in yours?
A friend of mine texted me about the simulation theory.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey man, if we're simulating and someone deletes our file, we're fucked. But right now I'm trying to get it. It's a lot of time to think about the simulation when I'm trying to get it.
Yeah. Even if it does exist, that really doesn't change anything. You're still in the simulation. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Exactly.
And if you look back at the Matrix, like the simulation was a lot better than the Matrix.
Yeah, fair enough. And then there's theories of like they were in the simulation. Oh man,
too much craziness.
I'm just gonna figure out my own memes and deal with my memes.
So what does that mean to you? What does memes mean to you? Because I know what a meme is, but it seems like you look at it at a different level.
Okay, so don't say it like that. I'm not enlightened with memes. Okay. Memes is a French word.
Uh-huh.
So the Frenchman that coined it he said they're like genes, but memes are packets of information of social ideas rather than packets of information of biological structures, right? So if memes are like DNA, good memes pass on, bad memes die. Right? So memes to me are anything and every bits of information, right? They just have been used as a form to convey jokes or demotivational images on the internet.
Yeah.
But the way that I see it is it's like it means nothing, it means everything. Like it's just like a packet of information. So like things.
Yeah.
So like to me, when I say meme, there's a lot of context, and you'd have to hang out with me enough to know which one I'm using.
Yeah.
Right. But you pick up pretty quickly. Like TJ, oh, he's like nice meme, or if I say that's a nice meme, you'd be like, fuck, what the fuck does he mean by that? Or like Mickey, when I taught Mickey, he was still working at AccuWare, and he came back to AccuWare one day and started saying memes and all.
Unlock your device for this.
Bixby, get out of here. He went back and started saying memes, and everyone was like confused. What does memes mean? And Mickey was like, just
it's a meme.
It's a meme.
Yeah.
And you kind of just get it. But again, my definition of memes is a packet of information, like the man who coined it. It's just anything and everything, right? And I kind of just use it interchangeably with words, and it doesn't make sense 90% of the time. But if you know, you know.
Then you know.
Yeah.
So what does chotch mean?
Chotch means I don't know where that came from. Okay, I just started using. I told myself I wouldn't use it, but now I'm using it. So a chotch is like a hoser, in like it's like similar to that from Canada. So a chotch is not an asshole,
Yeah.
but like, oh, you're a dickhead.
Got
Right?
you.
Like, oh, you're a dickhead, right? Like, oh, you're a chotch. Like, it's just another word to call someone that's being annoying. I don't know. Right? Like, here's a good example. Hey man, let's go out. Let's go eat. Let's go get some food. Nah,
Yeah.
man. He's like, stop being a chotch. Let's go.
Got you.
Like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Right.
Got you. You know, I started one. It's a BB.
A BB?
BB.
BB?
Yeah. So my buddy and I, we were huge into Dipset. Do you know what Dipset is? Diplomats,
yeah.
Cameron, Joel Santana,
Yeah.
Jim Jones.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
huge into that. They had a wave in like 2005, which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
insane, dude. So they had a live performance at the Source Awards, and they go into the corner store, and there's some guys that are outside, and they need a gun, and they say Habibi, and then Habibi got it. He got the gun. So me and my boy, we would call each other Habibi, which in like I think Arabic or whatever, it's like beloved.
Oh.
So we would just say, oh, what's up, Habibi, Habibi. We would call each other, and then
Yeah.
we shortened it to BB.
Yeah.
And like, dude, that shit stuck. I say that.
Hell yeah.
If you're like my close friend,
Yeah.
I call you that. Hey, BB, can you grab me that? And it's just so easy,
Yeah.
you know? And
But you have to be in it to understand.
you have to understand.
Yeah,
it.
like, and depending upon the way you say it, I'm sure like multiple people will understand who you're talking to.
Yeah. But then it turned into a thing where like people use that as baby.
Yeah.
So it kind of got really weird because
Ah.
people don't know if I'm calling them baby
Yeah.
or not, which is kind of the same thing. It's like a beloved.
It means
term of endearment.
Circle, dude. A circle. Oh my god.
That's my meme.
Nice
Did
meme.
I use
nice
it right?
Nice meme. Nice meme. Nice meme.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, like, funny you say that. Yeah, that was the nickname for my ex, right? BB.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so crazy, dude, because like we were saying that forever. And then it just started popping up. Like I started noticing it recently, and I'm like,
sure.
Why is that person saying BB for? You know? What the fuck? I don't even know you.
Wait, what? Wait, what? That was my thing, dude.
Dude, how specific of a
start
thing can you come up with?
You start calling your friends.
know?
Who the fuck used this out of the friend group?
Exactly. It's like, yo, what up, hamster tail? You know? And then hamster tail becomes popping.
And you're just like,
Like, what the fuck? That's my thing.
Wait, what?
I've been saying hamster tail since 2005.
Yeah.
And you're calling your girl, oh, I love you, hamster tail. What? No.
No.
So I got to come
Fair
up with something new, dude.
I mean, to be fair, if I were in your position, I'd just keep using it. And
Yeah.
if someone were to approach me and say it's wrong, I'd be like, I don't
know.
like you. Yeah, I don't like you.
You don't know, chotch.
You don't know. Nice meme. Perfect usage.
Calvin, this is an awesome convo, man.
Thank you.
I feel like I could talk
Thank
to you
you.
forever, dude.
I mean, I can talk forever, and I feel like you have a lot to tell me.
yeah,
and I want to.
it's dope, man. It's dope just to sit down with you and pick your brain and just
Thank you. I appreciate that.
just understand what this life is that you're living. It's fascinating.
Thank
bro.
you. That's humbling. That's genuinely humbling.
You and all the guys you surround yourself with. This is a moment in time. You know.
Attorney.
I don't take this lightly. You know. Just understanding what this time is gonna do for you guys and what you're living in, and just this moment that's going on, everything that's happening right now, like. This is exciting. This is history. And if nothing more than history for you guys, like this is huge. But the impact that you bring to the table is just spreading.
Yeah, we're trying.
So before we get out of here, do you feel like you have any responsibility with your platform and the people that you do influence?
I don't know what you mean by responsibility. Like, do I feel obligated to do the right thing?
Knowing that you have all of these eyes
Uh-huh.
on you, they look up to you and what you do and would love to emulate it. Do you feel a little more cautiously about the things that you would do, maybe so it doesn't influence the masses, or maybe influence them in a more positive way rather than negative?
I don't feel like I have a responsibility for people, right? Like, they do what they want, but I feel like I owe it to myself to share what I know. I owe it to myself, being told all these years that the things I say are very helpful and really sweet and like just a good thing. I owe it to myself to share it, right? I genuinely believe in what I believe, and I avoid trying to teach and practice the things that I don't like, right? And starting this year, or 3-4 weeks ago, I have an obligation to myself, no one else. But that selfishness doesn't mean I'm selfish. It means that the obligation is to better myself for those around me.
Well, if you're bettering yourself, it's going to be obvious to the people that subscribe to your train of thought, and the more you progress, the more everybody else is going to progress.
And I hope that I'm able to portray that to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Awesome, man. You know, you got a lot of stuff on your plate right now. You're in the battlegrounds of it. It's not going to be easy.
Absolutely.
And
not.
It's good that you're opening up to your emotions, and I always say, dude, you just got to let it burn, you know? And the more you put that off and hide it and don't go through those times and those feelings, that's just setting that lesson even further and further away from learning that. And a lot of people never learn that lesson. They'll go from relationship to relationship without discovering who they are. You know, to know that you have opportunity in yourself, that's a lot of value. You know, I never wanted to get to the point where I feel like I know everything, where I'm the best self that I can be. As long as everything that I do is with a good heart, and I'm trying my hardest. That's all I can say, man. You know?
Yeah.
I feel you. I wish you strength, bro.
Thank you.
I wish you strength and positivity, and
that means a lot.
Definitely, dude. I'm excited to see your journey.
Thank you.
And feel free, dude. You can always hit me up, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, my line is just not a business line or marketing or anything like that. Sure. You know, I love talking to people and you know, discussing things, because I know that a lot of time that people really don't have anybody that they can talk to, and not saying yourself, but it's always nice. Good. It's good to have more people than not, man.
It's always good to have good people.
Yeah.
That's why I've been posting a lot about that. Like, here's to good friends.
Hell yeah, man.
Here's to good friends.
Here's to it, bro. So before we get out of here, can we let everybody know where they can follow you at?
Oh, just follow me at twitch.tv/Kuya Calvin. Kuya Calvin.
There we go.
Thank you.
Dope, man. We'll have it all listed below. And I know you value time a lot, as do I. And I really appreciate you giving me your time to have this conversation, man.
Don't worry about it. It's great.
Dope, bro. So until next time.
Until next time.
Downtime with Downstar, episode 136. And we out. Peace.